And we're on the air, on the air.
Doo-doo-doo.
Do 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 do. Hello, hello.
Oh,
Just want to make sure everybody can hear before I even say anything, because usually when I start these hangouts, nobody can hear shit. Hey, Mike, how are you?
hi, Mike.
Uh, Feel free to share if you'd like, because I don't know if I'm going to.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, cool. Awesome. We're starting off on such a good fun time. Angie, what's up, Angie?
Hey, Angie.
Hey, 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 hey. Bergen,
Oh
I
my God.
appreciate you being a moderator as Shannon, my two new moderators. You
Hey,
got no
Charlie.
sound. Why does Mr. Bergen have no sound?
The hell?
The hell? Angie, Angie. What's up? What's up?
How's that baby, Angie?
Oh, that baby's beautiful if you ever see it on
Oh
Twitter.
my God.
Oh,
Scope group,
okay.
baby.
Starting already.
Oh, here we go. Bergen, you're not going to be able to use your wrench. Damn it.
Hi, Susan. How are you? Good to see you.
Hi, Susan. Is Susan one of your OG?
She is. She is one of my very, very good subscribers and OG of the loyal sense. I got to do more hangouts. Mike, we're gonna get to that conversation at some point. We got a lot to discuss tonight. Got a lot to.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna hit a lot of spectrums. We're not just. It's not gonna be anything about drama, anything like
Well,
that. I mean, listen. I know when this lovely woman next to me is here, we have the penchant for drama, but
uh-huh.
then we have the penchant to also have like humor mixed in, which
And,
is
and fun.
I've been missed. I miss you too, Susan. I'm gonna get to that too. Lots of things I have to get to. It's all like I could have made this in a video, but I guess it was a better idea to just talk to you guys in person, kind of like that,
Well, you
face.
can answer their questions in real time and not have to worry about the whole, comment thing and notification squad. You're just
I am
whelmed,
I
Shannon.
am too, Shannon. I am too.
Ah, I'm
Uh,
underwhelmed, actually.
are you really?
I'm underwhelmed
Well, maybe
because,
we
like,
can
what do you mean? I don't even know.
maybe we can whelm you while you're here, Tanya.
Mike would love to whelm me, from what I've been told.
Really? Is
I'm just
that
kidding.
is that true?
I doubt it, but it's a
Oh,
joke.
is that so? Oh, is that so,
It's a,
Angie? Mm-hmm. We'll see about that. We will see about that. I'm not even gonna. Oh, I can't because the amount of energy it takes for me to do no. But who knows? Are you sleeping? You can't be sleeping, Bergen. I'll take that wrench away from you.
oh no, you no. See, he's my bodyguard. Didn't you know? But he doesn't exist. He's not a real
Oh.
person.
Oh, bring her. Bring her. Bring her to scope. Do it. Do
Yeah,
it.
but you got. Yeah, but you do it really good when you put the glasses on.
I know.
You have the glasses
I
on.
have my glasses on right now. Who is on with me? This is my friend Tanya. Tanya has a channel. She is Tanya Elizabeth, I believe. Is that the name of your channel?
Yeah,
You
Tanya
may.
Elizabeth.
Yes, she also has a channel that she needs to do more videos on.
Yes,
Um, she
after the
is,
first of the year, so that way my watch time doesn't get taken away.
yeah. She also don't be bringing up my fabuloso, Angie. We'll have to pull down. Don't even, all right?
Hey, listen, I love me some Fabuloso. Okay. I love me some Fabuloso.
Oh my God.
That stuff
So
so
the
good.
so the scope she's talking about when like I was going head to head with her, I had the Fabuloso in my hand, like she was pretending to drink like whatever she was drinking. I had the
Oh
damn
my
thing in my
God.
hand and I was putting it up to my mouth and I actually got like a mouthful of Fabuloso.
Well, look at what Mike's comment was.
No,
Only if I'm naughty.
we don't do that here, Mike. This is a, this is a free platform. I don't censor. Oh, Shannon. That's right, Tanya. Don't be talking over me. I'll bring No out and get your ass.
Oh, hell yeah. Woohoo. Yeah, buddy.
Anyway, so I never know how to venture into starting this, but I know it's been a long time. I haven't really done, I know, here we go. I haven't done hangouts. I'm not a big fan of them. There are some people that are. Um, it's been a very rough year for your friend Cauliflower. So I haven't really wanted to do a lot of these because I felt like I kind of fell out of touch with just YouTube in general. This has been a very crazy year, not just personally, but here on YouTube, the communities and the things in the world. And it's just been a lot to keep up with. And we're going to probably discuss some of that tonight because, we're good for that. 2018, little look back on the wonderful year in on YouTube, especially
It'll be a higher rated rewind than the actual
oh
rewind
my
video.
God. And I actually listen. I whatever at this point. I don't know who or how they pick what they pick, but it's so boring. It's just so boring.
That and Joey Graceffa wasn't in it. I mean, come on.
Oh, is that how it is, Mr. Bergen? Okay. Well,
Oh.
uh-oh.
Well. Then I guess me and Bergen haven't been friends for a very long time then.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Well, wait a minute now. I mean, this is my hangout, Bergen, and I will say and do whatever I want.
Oh man, they can drop meme links.
Hey, Muffin!
Hey, Muffin.
Muffin, I promise you're all good. You're all
Muffin,
good.
you won't get blocked here unless you say that the Bruins suck.
Look at what Shannon said. Shannon.
Put Muffin in a timeout.
As long as you know, Muffin, this is my channel and my hangout. And I don't know why you here anyway, damn it.
Wait, count to 5, and that's a record for Muffin not getting blocked.
Oh my God. We're just getting off on the right foot, aren't we?
Well, people just want to get to it, I guess.
I guess.
Oh, listen, the Muffin Pants account was pretty good. I gotta give her that. That one was good, girlfriend. Mm-hmm. That one was real good.
Tanya will be moderating questions tonight as I cannot be trusted.
Bruins were my Nan's team. Number 4, Bobby Orr. Hell to the yes. You are now going to be my mother's best friend, by the way, Muffin, because Bobby Orr was her number one all-time favorite Bruin of all time. Hockey player. It doesn't even matter Bruin. Just hockey player ever of all time.
I just got an OG idea in my head, Tanya. Do you remember the time?
Do you have yarn on?
Do you remember the time that Lavender had the wrench and she kept hitting everybody and then I took it away from her?
Yeah, and she got so mad. She got so mad. And we're like, dude, it's not that big of a deal. Oh
Oh
my God.
no.
Oh,
Oh no.
Ray Bork, yep. Ray Bork, yep. Ray Bork.
So you never know. I might just like hit you all over the head. You might all end up with wrenches, and I don't know what's
And
gonna
then
happen.
and then we're just gonna sit back and watch the bashing show happen.
Bergen, I'm gonna be this hangout's lavender. Cool beans. I appreciate that.
Oh my gosh.
So
That night was that was
that was epic. Epic.
that was beyond epic. She got so mad. And I still don't understand why. Because I don't want this taken down. Dawn is the only, well, no, not, I haven't had a copyright strike. Have you had a copyright strike? Because I haven't had a copyright strike.
Someone tried, but no, I have never had one in 8 years. 8 years of my channel have never. Thank you. Thank you very much. I have not. So no, there will be.
There will be no music played because we respect artists. Oh my God. Oh my God. We're all going to hell.
Oh,
we're
my
all
boobs
going
are
to hell.
sweating.
Oh my God. We're all going to hell. And then we're going to get hit over the head with someone jumping in here and being like,
I have another memory for you. Okay, so remember when Lavender and Gigi were going at it? They were fighting on side chat, and I said,
"Oh my God,
if you two don't stop, I'm gonna flash you." And they didn't stop, so I flashed them, and somebody made an avatar out of that picture.
And that was also the same night that Lavender's cooter wouldn't stop freaking
whistling.
Oh my God, I could have my kid make red panties.
Oh, she snorted.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh. Okay, you got it.
Cooter toot. All I know is it kept whistling like a kettle. It was like
no, it really. There was this noise her chair made. In all seriousness, it was her chair or something, and it would anytime she moved, it would make this whistling noise. It wasn't a true whistle. So then, whenever she would come back on, I'd just go.
She gets so pissed. Oh my God, she gets so mad. Shut up, Tanya. Oh, yes, please, Angie, sing to me, please. Not 3 times.
Oh my God. If you can hear us, knock 3 times.
Oh God.
Now they're going into the Wayback Machine. And then she died.
And came back 3 days later.
Yeah, well, it's like 3 months. Give her some credit here. She had to be reborn. It takes some work. But she's back again. It was clap 3 times, Mike, not sap 3 times. But this is a kids channel. This is kid friendly and family friendly. Now you just got her demonetized. I hope you can live with yourself.
Yeah, sure. We try, but it never succeeds. It's okay.
Can I cooter toot 3 times? If she's watching this, she's gonna get so. She's either gonna get mad. She's either gonna get mad or she's gonna start laughing.
Please start laughing because honestly, disclaimer, if you know anything about my channel, I'm doing everything out of humor. It is not to be taken, let me be Karina for a minute. It is not to be taken seriously, so please don't send any mean or disparaging comments.
You sounded just like her and that was creepy.
I know.
That was so creepy.
So let's talk about.
I don't know. What do you mean? I don't understand.
Let's talk about Uncle Jeffrey.
Oh God. Oh, cringe. For those of you who don't know.
Muffin, that would be a 2-year anniversary is coming up on the 19th. Get your wicker weavers ready.
No, what was it? No, the crocheting of the coffins.
No.
That's when that started. Oh my God, that's right. The crocheting of the coffins ended up on the 20th or the 21st.
Are you serious?
Yes, people were crocheting coffins and sending them to each other. And the only reason I know that is because I know someone in my immediate family who was doing it.
Oh my God. I can't. I don't know. I don't
Angie,
know.
come on, tell me. You remember the crocheted coffins? Someone here has got to remember the crocheted coffins.
That's something that I don't remember. I remember other things, but not a crochet coffin. I want a crochet coffin.
Oh yeah, they were crocheted. I know.
Okay, but how does one make a crochet coffin, and how does that work? Explain,
I
Lucy.
don't know. I don't crochet. I don't know.
What is with you?
Muffin can do it. Muffin
Oh,
can do it.
okay.
Muffin
Oh, okay, got it,
is
got it,
like
got it.
the be all and end all of the crocheters.
Got it. Okay, awesome. Sounds great. And then maybe
Angie,
somebody
do you remember?
and then maybe somebody can
Angie,
model that on Instagram.
and just that though, and then go on a 7-hour long hangout and discuss just the crochet coffin for multiple days. You got to do it at least 2 days in a row.
For hours and hours and hours.
An hour.
Any old way. So,
Anyhow,
I don't remember this because I don't remember that.
Angie, I hate you because I know I'm not the only one who remembers that now.
I think some of that was blocked out of our proverbial memories.
Twitter poll. Who remembers the crocheted coffins?
Twitter poll.
Twitter poll.
And
I'm doing it.
press 1 if you remember, and press 2 if you have no idea what Tanya's talking about. Thank you, Angie. That's what I was going to say too. That's what I do remember, but I don't want to remember it anymore. So there's that. Thank you.
I'm doing the Twitter poll. Hold on.
You're
I'm not looking at the side chat.
Oh, I am.
Because I have way more important things to do.
Are you busy?
Yeah, I am so busy with my life.
Okay.
Like you don't even know. You don't
Oh
even
no.
know.
No, Mike, I cannot do MB. Would you sing to me, please?
Sorry. Anyway.
So this year,
Critical.
Tanya, tell me, Tanya, from this year, what was the most like shocking scandal on YouTube for you? Like, what was like, what the F just happened moment?
Ultimate scandal on YouTube. Well, there was some crotch flashing.
No, to explain, please. No. Shannon. Okay.
Okay, you know what? That was so not my fault. And that's so mean. Not my fault. The red yarn was another.
Okay.
But see, here's the thing. That wasn't on YouTube. Well, was it? Yes, it was on. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. Yes, it was on YouTube.
Okay, so that's I'm talking scandalosa. So basically, that was the biggest scandal for you on YouTube. It was the red.
Well, that was for Muffin. Was the red yarn for Muffin?
Right.
Mine was a toss-up between Jeffree Star and Manny MUA having a falling out.
Mm-hmm. Hey, AJ.
And crotch flashing. By some unknown YouTuber. I remember someone telling me about crotch flashing. So.
I know. I'm gonna ask AJ.
Hey, AJ.
I know what AJ's gonna say. AJ, Nikki, and myself, we have a thing with Manny MUA in his neck because it's kind of proportionately not straight. It's kind of like an.
It's not.
It's on an angle.
It's crooked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like and the back of his head is flat, so like his neck doesn't hold it up properly. That's right, Fabuloso crew in the house. Hashtag Fabuloso crew. What's up? His lady home. Go get her. Go get her, Angie. Yeah, so me and AJ and Nikki would talk about the fact that his face looks like oatmeal because he puts the makeup on over the stubble, and I don't get that.
Bergen.
I guess you could say that.
That's one way to do it. Oh, the Skype messages. Damn it. That's right about NDAs. That one. But again, that wait, that YouTuber is so famous and so perfect. We can't even name her.
NDAs.
Because,
okay. What? What? Huh? I'm lost.
That never happened.
Oh.
That wasn't me. That's a lie. RTJ.
Oh no, you didn't. Yes, I did.
Mary oatmeal. Okay, you know what? Now that I think about it, it did look like oatmeal. And then he would have to face tune the shit out of his pictures.
Yes.
Why don't you just shave the fucking beard?
No, because it was a thing. It was like, no, I'd rather leave it there. It's my face and I can do what I want, that kind of thing. So yes, let me just.
But I don't get it. I don't understand.
I want it to look like a poppy seed bagel. It's fine.
And that's true too. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, I mean, when I went to Generation Beauty last year, I told this story on my channel. There was a bunch of the gurus that were walking around, and there was very little security. If you want to call the staff of volunteers security, which was hanging around them like kumbaya, like a little like campground, trying to get them from booth to booth. I literally was on Manny's foot. He was right in front of me. And his face, like the close-up of his face, it was just Quaker Oats realness. I just wouldn't that dry your skin out? Whatever you put on it, like any kind of foundation, wouldn't that just make it dry and just like I don't know. I don't know.
I would think because I know that girls need to decap their skin after wearing makeup for so many days. They have to let it breathe. They have to decap. They have to if you over exfoliate, it can have the exact opposite of what you want to do. So I don't get it. Yes, Bergen. Yes, very much so.
Yeah, actually, very, very close to it. Yeah, if you
it's actually a stubble beard. You know, like he wants it to look like 5 o'clock shadow, but it's not.
It looked more like 11:45.
Yeah, it's pretty bad because I've seen it's bad.
AJ looks like dried cracked feet.
Oh, AJ. How did you look at my feet?
God.
Yeah, it's not that either. Go, baby.
I think for me personally, getting away from this.
6:30.
For me, it was the Manny with what's her face, Laura Lee and Gable Zamora and Nikita Dragon trying to do the whole like, oh, we did a Kylie Jenner, kind of like birthday picture, but it was to Jeffrey and it backfired and it like just set a blaze through.
Well,
YouTube.
If we're gonna go there, then what about what Thomas Halbert did after Ibiza? Well, texting Manny from freaking Jeffrey's couch.
Yeah, but again, as far as like what rocked the beauty community, because this really shook it up, where everybody was like, I mean, subscribers
enough
were lost.
Is enough.
Yeah, right. Subscribers were lost in droves. I mean, I've seen nothing like it in the last 8 years in droves. It was like Laura Lee's that fucking apology. It was atrocious.
That wasn't even an apology. That was like someone else's apology, blaming everyone else.
AJ.
I'm just saying.
I think he gave that toupee to Nikita.
Well, Nikita's wigs, I have to say, are way better than Thomas Halbert's toupee.
Well, I would hope so. I would hope so. I think he looks great now. I think he's starting to kind of calm it all down now, but
Like, share, and subscribe.
uh-oh. I'm MBing over here. Sorry, guys.
Oh my God, knock 3 times. Are you dead?
No.
I know, right, Muffin?
Honestly though, I didn't get a lot of from see for me Thomas was like too little too late. If you were going to jump on that bandwagon of saying Jeffrey was a racist, then I think it was too little too late. It kind of came in at the very end of when it was dying down with the whole like, you know, Manny trying to do a documentary, and then I'm missing something.
I can
Shannon,
only imagine
I
what
can
she's
only
missing.
imagine what I'm missing. Believe me, I'm not missing it.
Oh, honey, but I could totally send you more memes.
I seriously, you know, I've never in 8 years ever did anything like that. Like seriously. And the only thing that I've ever done on oh God, she's joking. The only thing I've ever done, are you okay? Do you
Yeah,
need
I'm
the
good. I'm good. I just read Shannon's comment.
oh, do you need the embassy? Do we have to call the embassy?
Yeah, call the embassy, everybody.
Okay.
Make sure to call the Texas embassy. Okay. How many people are going to Google that?
Oh my God. No, I don't need a
You wish,
tip
Mike.
jar. I don't need a wish list. I don't need Patreon. I don't need any of that stuff. Like I don't do that. I
Hey,
don't
there's
would
nothing
never.
wrong with wish list. I have
Oh no,
one.
no, no, no. No, I know. I just for me
Okay.
personally, I just the only time I think I ever is when I had like a swap group, and I would, you know, if anybody wanted to join in, it was like we asked them to pay shipping. Other than that, I'm not comfortable with that kind of stuff. It just, you know, after, and I've talked about this enough times, after
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you.
Mike. After
With you, yeah.
a very known favor I did for a friend, I don't ever want to go down that road.
Hey, I hear you.
Oh my God, you guys. Is there something you guys want to discuss? Is there something you want to talk
Jeff
about?
Myers. Jeff Myers. Jeff Myers is in the building. Huh?
I'm gonna Google my own Google. Oh God.
Is that like, Twittering your twatter? There goes your monetization. Any hope whatsoever, there it went.
Listen, YouTube changes policies for smaller channels, see, so I couldn't even tell you how much I made. How much did I make, Tanya? I don't know. How much did I make?
I think you've made like 1,000.
Yeah, in my dreams. In my dreams.
All he needs is a turtle next. Okay, I went back and read AJ's comments. All he needs is a turtleneck and a video by the lake. Thomas's hair looks like Jason's mom on Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah, Mrs. Voorhees. Oh no. That's true.
Oh my God, Don, I know how much you made now. 18 cents.
65.
Oh, damn.
Oh, do we want to have like a poll? Should we do that on Twitter? A poll? How much I made in YouTube?
I can do that.
I know you can.
Sure, Paul. Let's see. Let's go in for my results. Let's see if anybody's answered my Twitter poll. Probably not. But
Probably not.
Oh, someone did.
Oops. I'm trying not to. I'm saving up for lessons.
Oh, did you guys hear?
What?
Excuse me. I'm going to be studying to become an anthropologist.
All right. Can you stop making me choke? Are you serious? Is that like a newfound interest?
It's a newfound degree that I found in my mother's drawer.
I didn't know Teresa was so up on anthropology.
She is, man. She's like,
Mike.
No, allegedly in the great north woods of Maine, uh, there was a girl found by the Paw Patrol. Oh, could you please, Mike? That'd be great. It would save me about $20,000 in tuition. Thank you.
I can't read anymore. I'm gonna die.
An
Okay.
anthropologist does anthropology. That's what an anthropologist does. There's up for a hump. That's how Manny got the views.
I know I can't read AJ's anymore. I'm gonna fall on the floor. Angie, don't start with me, damn it. Angie is slowly trying to make me crazy.
Nah.
I haven't drawn on eyebrows, put on the hot dog bra in over a year. What is going
Listen
on?
here, okay? There's nothing wrong with hot dog water, okay? It's very nutritionally based. And it's keto, okay? It's keto.
It's keto. Oh, it's keto. Wait, what happened to the chat? What did I do? Oh no, what did
I'm
I
going
do?
to be a gynecologist and explore the veg. Nice, AJ. Very nice.
I'm so glad to hear for that you'll be starting off the year in people's pants. That's great.
Hey.
Oh my god.
How long before you're able to anthropologize? It's about 6 months, but it could be more closer to a year.
Wow. Okay.
We're a bunch of assholes. We're all going to go to hell.
No, that's okay. I consider this hell, so anywhere from here is an improvement.
Hey, it'll be a lot of fun. I have the front seat next to Shannon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Tanya, do you know what you and I need to address? I think people need to hear this because I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I got a slight hunch, maybe you do too, that someone somewhere is going to be like, how did those two start talking again?
Oh.
She's like, what the hell?
It's been months.
Mm-hmm.
It's called We Squash It because we be adults. You know that thing that happens after you hit 18 and you pay your own bills and stuff? That's called being an adult.
Wait, you're being an adult? I'm so not used to that.
I know.
What's that mean?
I don't know. I think Texas has totally mellowed me out though, because I get mad, but I don't get nearly as mad as I used to. I'm kind of missing it.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Okay, after this wonderful, community that we were all community. That's the community. we once, I didn't even consider in. I don't consider that I'm still in, but once was in.
Yeah.
Once all that died down and we all went our separate ways and all that kind of stuff, a lot of the stuff that was pre 2018, I'd like to say, because we seem to keep going around in circles.
Yeah, the wash, rinse, and repeat cycle. Yeah, I hear you. Loud and clear.
It stopped mattering. Other things happened in people's lives, and like myself, a lot of things happen, and it changes your perspective. Like you said about Texas mellowed you out. For me, it was, going through the death of my father and other things. And you look at things differently. And after a while, the stuff that happened while you were in a not so great mindset don't matter no more.
Right.
Like people who trolled you or people who's said to have, might have sent phones to your house or not sent phones to you, whatever it was.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this right now. That address that you and I had previously discussed was nowhere near my house where I used to live.
Yeah, and
Let's
that was
get that record straight. Yeah. That was near someone else's house. But I'm not going to go there.
Well, we spoke about this when it happened because I
Right.
publicly told you the address, publicly said what was the situation. I did admit that I thought it had a lot to do with you. We were in a fight at the time. And yeah, all the dots seem to connect at the time. But it doesn't take hours and hours and hours, and it doesn't take years upon years upon years to just settle a score. Was it all okay after that? No, it wasn't all okay after that. There were a lot of repercussions, and we had more, internet fallouts or what have you, you and I. But
Right.
it wasn't like a continual making it about one thing. All right. And I had many thoughts of other people it could have been, but I just after a while it didn't matter because I took care of it. It was taken care of. There were people telling me to draw up a police report and do this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, I'll handle it the way I handle it. And that's it. You know, it was
Right.
harder. It was harder back then. And the reason I even blamed you in the first place because of our falling out, because we were friends first. Okay.
Right.
And that's the thing. It's like people don't understand that it's not about choosing somebody to just blame just to hate them. I mean, I never hated you. There was a lot of stuff that had happened between us and a lot of things said online. And I've had this before, like with Nikki, I've had
Mm-hmm.
the public falling out and we blamed each other for everything that went wrong. Oh, it's probably you. It's probably you, and that's what happens.
Right.
And
And that's the other
after,
thing too, that a lot of things transpired
right.
behind the scenes because we were adults and took it
Mm-hmm.
offline. That was
Right.
the biggest thing is, okay, you know what? Stupid shit happens. People say things out of anger that they don't mean. And,
Mm-hmm.
me being too stubborn,
Mm-hmm.
um, to admit that,
Yeah.
but I still came out and I publicly apologized for acting the way that I did.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the end of that. And yes, we had some spats back and forth because there were people, or I should say person, going back and forth,
Mm. Well, it was,
stating, oh, this one said this one and that one said that one. And no. And because at the time, we both wanted to believe the worst in each other instead of, again, talking like adults
mm-hmm.
do, they nitpicked and would pick on that one raw nerve, and it would
Mm-hmm.
set things off and set things in motion yet again. And instead of doing that, saying, "Oh, we're friends publicly," la 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 la. Okay, we squash things, we talk often. So, what is the big fat hairy deal? I don't
Be-
understand why someone's trying to be like, "Oh, well, go have fun with her," and it's like, dude, if you only knew what it was like to actually have an adult friendship or a friendship at all, then you wouldn't be saying those things.
this is not a competition. This is not about like, oh, I like this person one week and I dislike them the next week. There were reasons behind back then why a lot of things were said and done. And I can't even name all of them. I don't want to name all of them because as adults we have to move on and have to grow from a situation or walk away from toxic situations, and a lot of that for me was toxic. So yes, I reacted to it just like I would anything that would cause me to question or cause me to feel like somebody was not taking me into consideration as far as like being a friend. And that is basically the way I've always been, and I will always be this way. And
Right.
if people came to me directly, I answered them. If it was all about like, making some sort of like I'm trying to find the word, an association because something happened in order for you to do that. That's not true. I have my own mind. I have my own, morals. I have my, I make up my own, uh, whatever happens in the community, 98.9% of the time, I try not to respond because a lot of it to me, I have one answer. And that's if you don't like somebody or if you don't think if you don't want to mess with somebody or hang out with them, then ignore them, because the more that you keep generating conversation or going back and forth in whatever kind of platform, it just jazzes more people up and then people are choosing
Right.
sides, and it never ends. And like I said, it's like this is 2 years later and it's December and it's still going on.
Wash, rinse, and repeat by
Yeah.
the same set of people that led the witch hunt to begin with. I'm just
Well,
saying.
witch hunts are made by witches, okay, to do evil. There's no reason that that ever should happen, okay? If you've had some tragedy in your life, you'd understand that there's so many more important things in life than to take what a person says on the internet seriously. And we
Right,
all had to learn that lesson. I had to learn that lesson.
right.
I took everything seriously. I took everything as, oh, people want me off the internet, and they want me off my channel, and they don't like me, and and I didn't do anything, and defend this and defend that. And after a while you're like, but when I shut off all of these devices, I don't have to deal with it anymore. you
Right.
know the thing is that having a channel is different, and people in the outside of that spectrum don't understand it. Like, people that don't have YouTube channels are like, well, you could just ignore it. The unfortunate thing is a lot of what had happened in the community, if it's negative, it travels over, because that's your
Mm-hmm.
platform. That's your personal public self, and you're having to deal with, you have people that follow you, and you're not always talking about drama, and you're not always talking about that community stuff. So when you try to go back to what you're doing and the drama follows, there's an effect. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why I went away from doing the hangouts. That's what was happening. And it wasn't like I can't take a comment here and there, or I can't take a criticism here and there. It got personal to the point of the trolling was getting worse. The implications of the trolling, like I told you about, like offline. um
Mm-hmm.
the involvement of kids, the involvement of family, the involvement of close friends. All of that doesn't need to be there, but they do it because they know that it gets a rise out of you. And that's bottom line what happens. And I have allowed a lot of that to happen, to where I just was like, okay, screw it, I'm gonna stop doing my channel, because it's affecting my need or want to share with people. In
Right.
2017, you know, I phoned in a lot of videos. I was just kind of like, going through the motions. I really didn't want to connect too much anymore. I didn't really want to share like I did before. Didn't want to do vlogs, didn't want to do collie chats, cut that out. And then it took a nosedive. And then 2018, trying to build that back up again, with the way things have happened in this community, with the way things have happened in the beauty community, and seeing all the changes and all the scandals and all that stuff, again, it got overwhelming. So
Right.
there are some people that I know that are still out there that watch and follow, and I appreciate that, and that's what kind of keeps me on, like, the thread. Like, I stay around, but there's the thought process of, like, how long I've been here, and how other channels have grown way past me, and who watches anymore, and who cares anymore, because I'm of a certain age as well. I'm not in my 20s. We all know this. I'm not like, Manny and Jeffrey and all them. Um, I'm a different, older, much older than some people thought. um,
Okay.
so demographics also come into play. And I don't really put myself out there as an older, more mature channel, because I don't feel that way. And I think that's maybe where the mix up is. I don't know. Oh my
Well,
God.
I think there's a lot of disconnect too, because there is only these young people with a shit ton of money that can get lip injections and Botox and their
Mm-hmm.
cheeks filled, and you expect that from Jeffrey,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no real representation.
Right.
So I can see both sides,
Mm-hmm.
but as a whole, there's a huge demographic that watches YouTube that's not being represented. And that's what I tried explaining to you, was you can be that voice.
Yeah. I mean, nobody really advertises, 40 and up. There's a handful of people that do, but they're very, very, very small channels that people don't even know about. And I never claimed to, like, only you know, just direct my content towards people that are in that age range, because I'm like, a lot of people don't think I'm in that age range, so I don't go there, kind of a thing. But
Well,
there,
yeah.
but there are times I try to, mention, oh, more mature skin or more mature people, or some people don't like to, mature women don't like to use the crazy colors all the time, or this or that and the other thing. No.
Mhm.
Tanya, you wanna take that question?
I call them brave. That's what I call them. I call them brave
I don't know, letting it
because
breathe.
shrinkage is a real thing. Shrinkage is a real thing.
Mm. I think I always thought it was just because they felt like it was constricting.
That too.
Mm. Or sperm count or something like that. Like it was like something to do with if I don't know. I don't want to get too graphic, but
She's still worried about her monetization, people.
yeah, no, or lack thereof. I still have to figure out how much I made. I don't know. But anyway,
Let's see.
I think it's like minus 12 cents, something like that.
Oh no, that's someone else that we know. That's perfect.
Mm. Can't relate.
Can't relate.
Can't relate.
Because we both have our community tabs, so at least we can, talk with our subscribers.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Mike says rounded off to $1. Cool. I can live with that. That'll get me like what? Like I don't even know these days, like a piece of gum. Oh, I can go to the dollar store.
Tax.
Oh, damn. Okay. Hopefully this hangout does like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully this hangout does well.
She's got to go to the dollar store, people.
I need that tax money. Come on now. I need to round it out. Gas station coffee.
Even the gas station coffee is expensive nowadays there, dude.
Well, yeah, some things. I don't know how good they'll be, Mike, but yeah, it can. Oh my God, I sound so old. What does $1 buy you these days?
Nothing. Dude, Sean wanted a freaking Kinder Egg, and these fuckers are like $2.50.
He
I'm
wanted
like,
a Tinder egg?
Kinder, like Kindr, Kinder.
I thought you said
A
Tinder.
Tinder egg? No, a Kinder egg, not a Tinder egg. He's a little young for Tinder. Um,
Oh my God. Is that true?
I told him to not say anything.
Oh,
God dang it.
dang.
Michael, you're in so much trouble.
Is that true, AJ? Wait, you know who had nipple clamps? James. Do you remember
James
that?
had nipple clamps? Oh my God, yeah.
You don't remember that? When he put.
I
Okay. He's swiping. He did.
now all we need is some Midnight Rocker up in here, and then our lives are
Yes.
complete.
You know that he, every single day, if I go to my cauliflower page, I see a message from him, and it's like, hey, Collie, how are you? And I have it set up where it like automatically answers, because I never answer anything over there, because barely anybody ever contacts me on my cauliflower fan page. And it's always James. Like, hey, Collie,
Aww.
what are you doing?
And you can hear it in his voice too. It's so funny.
I know. Does he even, he doesn't scope anymore, huh?
He does. No, he does. It's
Oh,
just
does
not as
he?
often. It's just not as often. Thank God.
Those used to be something else. Those used to be diabolical, those scopes of his. Oh, when he used to go after me. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Cauliflower.
And it was
Cauliflower
always,
gone.
yes, it was always because I wasn't friends with you. He would, you know, I'm on my way. Yep. He still scopes. Wow.
Yeah, he does. And it's more so about that the Perry community, like the Yetis and all that.
Oh, he's still
Uh
doing that? Okay.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he still does his heel stuff where
Mm-hmm.
Lord baby Jesus only knows why he does, but he does.
Oh, well, why do we, half of us do what we do?
Oh, because we like seeking attention.
Mm. The attention,
What's wrong with
yes.
that, though? There's nothing wrong with seeking attention.
It depends on the kind of attention you're seeking for.
True. That is very true.
Gee.
You look at cute. Oh my god.
Oh my God, AJ.
Down.
Mm-hmm. It's called oh my God. Oh. Oh my God. Okay. TMI there, Angie.
Wow. Wow. How did we get
Wow.
into that?
I don't
We do
know.
what we do so we can get into acting. You do have a lot of contacts, Shannon. I have to admit that.
That's
You
cool.
know, she's she's girl's well connected, man. What can I say? You know, that's my bestie right there.
Well, good
She
for
she gives
her.
me the hookup. You know,
Good for her. I mean, listen, I've had I've had a pretty decent year of meeting celebrities. I will say that as far as like, doing cons and things like that. I mean, of course, it's not like, they're going to get me into Hollywood or anything, but
well, you know the con thing that looked interesting. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm like,
it is. If there's anything that saved me this year, I have to say it is doing those because, Joe got me involved in that last year and I did a few of them. And then all of a sudden, like they were just, jumping up and kept wanting to do more. And then I actually made a really good friend out of an agent um, that I worked with, and she would contact me and ask me like if I was going to be at certain cons and if I would do her a favor and work with like one of her clients, and I'd be like, of course I will. And I saw her again at Rhode Island this year, and I love her to death, and it's just so different. Here's a community that anybody can be in, and cons accept everybody. It doesn't matter, who you like, what you dress like, it doesn't matter. You're if you're like a geek or if you're like a just what have you, it doesn't matter. It's like everybody accepts everybody, and it's a very loving and very kind of giving community. So doing these, you kind of see how fans are really and how people really get into what they are fans of, and it's just nice. It's
the
it's nice to be
fandoms and stuff. Yeah,
it's nice to be on both sides. It's nice to see people, come over to celebrities and how the celebrities react to them and how, they're very good with there's certain people that, you're like, "Oh, you're like that, huh?"
oh,
But
I'm sure. I'm sure
oh
you're
yeah.
like, oh, you're one
Oh
of those.
yeah, you're like that. Oh, great. But, for the most part,
You're a supreme douche. That's awesome to know.
yeah, there was a few that, I mean, I didn't work with essentially, but I heard from other volunteers or like some just like you could just get a vibe off of a person, just kind of like, oh, you're like that. All right, gotta go.
And jet on out. It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Peace out, fucker. I'm not dealing with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Perception wise with people, it's like, uh-oh, my mail phone is at 10%. Thank you for that visual.
I'm not on Scope, Bergen. Wrong platform. Every time I'm on Scope, Bergen has to go to the toilet.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, he says that it's not my voice, but I'm starting to think otherwise. Or did you say it was my voice? I can't remember now. Shit.
Get off the
Whoops.
crapper. I don't know. So Tanya, how's the year for you in retrospect?
I mean, if you look at it in retrospect, it's like we end up sweating the smallest stuff over the stupidest things for the longest amount of time. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, I think, in my personal humble opinion, I've changed a
Mm-hmm.
lot more than I ever could have even imagined, even in the last 6 months.
Right. And what do you think made you do that as far as like changing?
I mean, I went back and I looked and I watched myself and I forced myself to, and it was not a comfortable feeling. And I imagine being on the receiving end of being berated and for something that, I may or may not have done. And it's not a good feeling. And I told myself that I was going to try very hard to not have people feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
When I think about it, it's okay, where was that line of condemnation for bullshit and just being a bitch for the sake of being a bitch?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the line was drawn, was this going to be worth the aggravation of condemning something or someone for what they said, what they did, how they acted, etc. And 90% of the time, while I was pissed off and upset, there were times that Shannon and Mara and my mom and you would have to legit talk me off the edge of going absolutely 50 Shades of Ballistic. Oh, and Bergen. But at the end of the day, I was thankful for it. And it made me see that, wow, let's take a situation. Okay. For those of you who don't know, who've been living under a rock, I was actually doxxed again earlier on this fall, winter, whatever, not too long ago. And I wanted to go 50 Shades of Crazy. And instead, I had the likes of Shannon, you, my mom, Mara, all in my ear saying, give it a couple of days. Give it another day. Give it another day. And finally, I got over the violation. And yeah, but you would be a welcome visitor. So it's all good. But I look at it and it's one of those things that now it's like, okay, I'm glad I didn't go off and bring attention to something that shouldn't have been brought attention to at that moment in time. Did I talk about it once? Yep, I did. And I would like to state here and now, I was not the one who doxed another YouTuber. That was not me.
I was just
That was
about
someone
to.
else.
I was just about to. I was going to come into it a little bit more delicately, but I was about to say, what did you feel about the accusation that you had, done a equal doxing on another content creator?
Well, again, I don't think two wrongs make a right, but I also understand that Bergen, who has known me almost as long as Shannon, has had enough.
Mm-hmm.
And they potentially put my child in danger. It's the wrong address, but still, the intent for harm was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as I think Bergen put it, turnabout fair play. That's why he did it. He was like, you're not going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I'm like, I actually said, don't do it. I actually said, don't do it because it's going to make you no better than the person who did it to me. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. They put Sean in danger or attempted to. And I said, I can't control what you do.
I don't understand.
That's why I doxed the shit out of that bitch, tired of it. I don't disagree.
I don't understand in this day and age of social media and the things that we know as far as like the implications of how dangerous. What is the point in, I understand like when we talk about somebody or we say that person needs help or that person needs an intervention or some sort of like, and I don't think what you were trying to say was like, I am filing my nails, AJ. I don't think what you were, this is just my perspective, and tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think what you were saying was so much as trying to get a person to be to have danger brought upon them. I think what you were trying to say was, I think somebody needs to step in and stop them from doing what they were doing in public.
Well, no, it's not that. It's the fact that it was brought to my attention. I didn't I didn't see it. This person tagged me in it, and I never saw it, and I don't know how that's even possible. It was brought to my attention, and by the time that I had spoken to Bergen, it was already done. It was already written. It was already written. And I said, 2 wrongs don't make a right. And he goes, well, turnabout's fair play. And I said, I can't argue with that, but I can also tell you I'm not comfortable with that. And he's like, I'm sick and tired of these fucking assholes. And I do believe that was a direct quote, these fucking assholes putting that child in danger to piss and make you scared. And to piss you off. And that was that. And what was funny was the fact that Bergen is still in Twitter jail for what he did. Me, myself, my mom, Shannon, all reported the tweet, and anybody else that I could think of reported the tweet. That tweet stood up for an extra 2 days after Bergen's account was taken out for 30. The tweet that actually started it, violating my privacy, was left up for another 2 days. 2 days. Swap, please. Well, okay then. And that is Bergen, everybody.
Oh my
buddy.
God. Okay. AJ.
Ew. AJ.
Is she even a thing anymore? Like, does anybody still watch Nina? Like, I mean,
okay.
last time I saw Nina, I will admit this, I used to like the mukbangs. I will admit it. I don't know why. Maybe it's because she was just of her slurping and the nails and all that grossness, but it was just like, I don't know. She seemed like like childlike in those videos. Like she was so like, I don't know, so not her.
Well, in those mukbangs, the reason why she was like that was because she was trying to get Johns to come over. Never mind. But no, she actually disabled all of her her like to dislike ratio, all of her comments, because of people who had been scammed by her, and not even from the original group that were over on live video, that were, you know, part of her initial her greedy grab of money. We weren't the ones leaving the comments. It was new people who had gotten scammed, saying, don't give her anything, don't buy her anything, just don't. And she blocked the comments that her quote unquote haters, which, hello, what grown ass adult says that, by the way? My haters? Who fucking says that? Especially over the age of, I don't know, 25? Give me a break. Anyway, she went on to do that, and then she became, I just realized what I said. I didn't even realize what I said until just now. Whoops. Get off your soapbox, Tanya. But no, she is still doing her thing, but instead she just has her wish list up, and that's it.
The Amazon list, the one that she was getting all the stuff for her son. Okay.
For the son that she stopped fighting for.
Right. Is she still doing unboxing? She's still getting stuff. Am I to assume?
I don't know if she's still doing unboxings. I know that she was getting copious, and I do mean copious amounts of stuff for that child.
Yeah, I did see that. I did see a few of those videos, and you know, again, people did it. You know, she managed to get people to do it.
Right, and like I said, I can respect a person's hustle, as long as they do it the right way, in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion. If you can sit there and flash your vagine on a pole, then you can get a job.
Mm-hmm.
That was everybody's biggest gripe. Okay, you've got someone like who still works, Simply Nailogical. She doesn't have to work. She wouldn't have to work. Her YouTube and her sponsorships alone would make it so she would never have to work. But she enjoys her job, and she knows that YouTube could go away like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what is she doing? She's stocking that money away, and she's laughing all the way to the bank. So you're telling me people like Simply Nailogical who work 40 hours a week, she uploads Saturdays and Sundays, twice a week, and sometimes 3 videos, 2 on her main and 1 on her second channel, that Little Miss No
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get a 9 to 5 and still upload. Give me a break. Does it make it more difficult? Yes, because I am in that struggle. It's like, okay, where do I find the time to film? I'm in that struggle. I ride that
Mm-hmm.
struggle bus all day.
Yeah.
But at what point, it's called self-respect at some point, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. Just saying. But for a long, short question, there was a long answer. Yeah, she's still around and she's still scamming people, which is
Yeah,
unfortunate.
and from what I saw the last time, she had like this whole like kind of like photo shoot, and she was in all these pictures, and I didn't know what the hell for her acting, another one with an acting career.
Okay, if I roll my eyes any further back into my head, I'm going to have to go down the street to go and grab them. Do not make me throw up.
Sorry.
I mean, at least Nina had something to bring to the table. She had beauty. She has beauty that, I mean, for everything that she is, the one thing that nobody can take away from her is that she bust her ass for that body, and she paid a lot of money for the cement ass that she has and the really bad lips. But her face is very pretty. Her eyes
Mm-hmm.
are gorgeous. She takes
Mm-hmm.
really good care of that body.
Mm-hmm.
But at least she's bringing something to the table, unlike other YouTube creators that I use the word creator loosely, but YouTube creator, what would that person bring to the table? Never mind. A ball of yarn and a dick nose. I'm an asshole.
No,
You can
it's
admit it.
I'm trying to see where Bergen's going with this because I'm already uncomfortable.
Oh, you're letting Bergen make you uncomfortable? Oh, please.
AJ, AJ.
An onion ring.
Ew. Oh.
Oh, gross, dude.
I should take the wrench back from you. I know. It's your fault, Angie. Don't think I don't know that. Yeah, you are. I agree with Muffin completely.
Bergen can be vile, but he can also be your best friend.
Take it
Trust and believe that.
back. Yes, take it back. I'm taking it back. I sound like Randall from Clerks too. It's okay. I'm taking it back.
Take it back. Take it back.
Take it back. AJ's sick. She's making the green sick face.
Listen, you guys asked for it. You guys actually freaking. He is behaving, believe it or not. This is nothing. He. But you guys are answering his questions instead of ignoring it,
Yeah,
like me
yeah,
and Shannon are. Because if you notice, Shannon and I are just ignoring it.
you're kind of egging him on here. Oh, just another thing that came to mind as far as.
See? And they encourage it. See that?
Mm-hmm.
AJ's going and encouraging it. So I don't want to
Because
hear it.
between Angie talking about no sports bra and AJ talking about MB's wigs.
We're just all going to hell, and that's just the
Ew,
way it's going to be.
God, I don't even want to see that visual.
Oh my God. Bargain.
I'm so glad YouTube doesn't read commentary.
Yet.
Yeah,
Wait until friggin' what's her face gets a hold of that. Jesus Christ, a lot of these things.
that'll be 2019's new policy. YouTube will be like, okay, we're gonna start, cracking down on comments.
That, I'm not even joking you, I could see that bitch doing.
Who?
The new
Oh,
CEO of YouTube.
oh God, it's a woman. We're in trouble.
She's the reason why the monetization thing changed.
Wonderful.
With the ad space and excuse me, people like, Colleen Behringer, which by the way, she had her baby. He's so cute. Oh my God.
Yay. Congratulations.
Yay, Colleen, you'll never hear this, but yay.
That's right, because nobody watches my channel. I forgot.
Oh, shut up. That's not what I meant. So be quiet. Listen, you've got 28 people watching now.
Woohoo. All 28, and there's like, what, 5 people talking on this side.
That's okay. I'm going to check something.
Isn't that usually the radius? It's never like the radius of people that are watching. It's always like, about 8% of the radius of people watching that are speaking.
Right. Well, that's the thing.
God. Bergen, is it in the woods? The Afro pick? Now
He's
Mike's
rough and
is
tough in his Afro puff.
now Mike's is gross.
Hey, they're wingmen, man. Oh, Angie. Now, brown cow, play nice.
Ew. Oh,
Happy
nope.
little trees. Happy
Nope.
little trees.
Nope.
Oh my God, they name drunk. Oh my God.
Here we go around the mulberry bush. See, Muffin's putting you in your place. She's calling you Michael.
Michael. I know. He doesn't like it when us women are forceful like that. Well, here's the thing. I sent Paw Patrol, and they went to the wrong woods, apparently. Apparently, there's many sets of woods in north, Washington, Oregon, wherever. Oh!
She's throwing
Bergen! Bergen, that was bad. That was a smidgen too far.
Oh, the other scandal that shook 2018, I had to say. John Kukian over Peter Mon. What he did to Peter Mon.
Oh, you know what? That was the greatest thing I ever did, was sharing Margot Indigo's video. It may have, I think, 20 some odd views on it. It doesn't have very many, but because everyone did it. I mean, everyone and their freaking uncle wants to take down that kitchen cosmetics motherfucker. Giving poor Nady a reaction. No one wants to know. No one wants to know, Bergen. Nobody. Michael!
See? Shannon, no.
Oh my God. Bergen.
I
already know. I have a boy. I already know.
Oh.
I have a boy. I already know. I already know. Oh Oh my God, AJ, you guys are now encouraging it, so you guys cannot gross out.
I am not responsible for any. Shame.
I knew that was coming out his mouth.
I am not responsible for any effect that Virgin has on any of you. Just saying.
Blech.
Because
Gross.
you all are encouraging
Now you
this.
guys are openly encouraging it. But
Mm-hmm.
getting back to cooking,
Yeah.
um, I am so glad I shared that
Mm.
because one, this dumb motherfucker recorded someone who works for Department of Homeland Security.
Is that the
In
people
his
he was staying with?
yes, in Maryland, yes.
Right, right, right.
With the guy has a security clearance,
Mm-hmm.
apparently. I didn't get into details with Margot about it.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy is going whole hog and they're trying to extradite from what I understand.
That guy played it so smart, the way he handled that. The way he handled the when he had John in the car and John is like telling him about how crazy the wife is and all the things that she was doing to the
Oh,
husband. He
yeah,
played it so smart. Yeah.
he knew that he was being recorded. He had to have known he was being recorded. Muffin is laughing. Muffin, you were laughing. I could hear it. So don't even lie because you were laughing and
But yet,
encouraging.
but yet we like to see the downfall or we like to see somebody this here's another person that I just don't understand how he can get into this like mind of how evil his doings are and still be the sweet guy and be like, hi, titties, la la la. And
But see, when he says shit like that, his core audience is like 12.
are they though?
Yeah. Yeah, his demographic, he's shown it. His age demographic that mainly watches him are 12 to 21-year-olds.
Ugh, ugh.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Mhm. And I'm sorry, but I doubt my mother would allow me to, let's just say hypothetically that YouTube was a thing back when we were kids. And yeah, there'd be no way in hell she would allow me to watch someone who was screaming about titties and this, that,
Mm-hmm.
and the third.
Mm-hmm.
No
Mm-hmm.
way. No way.
Although to be fair, Shane Dawson's fans are pretty young, and Shane Dawson can get.
Right, but here's the thing. A lot of the Shane Dawson fans, their parents grew up on Shane Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
he has grown with his audience, but also the parents can tell by the thumbnail and the title and the description bar of what the video is going to be about.
Right.
Like the conspiracy theories, I personally wouldn't want. I still don't really watch them. I'm not really into that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's other videos that he does that are a little off color. But I think when watched with an adult, I don't think that these adults nowadays are actually actively watching what their kids are watching.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll see, 3 or 4 videos, test out the YouTuber, and then go from there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless they're watching Tana Mojo or, that was another big scandal was TanaCon.
Oh God, yeah, definitely.
TanaCon was pretty bad.
That's probably the biggest scam of the year.
Yeah, that, yeah, that would have been the biggest scam of the year.
I mean,
Um,
again, not to take anything away from, trying to make an event, but when you basically are talking about it like, oh, I don't know how far, I think it was like a month ahead. Oh, we're gonna make it free, and you're just asking for trouble.
well, she did make it free. That much I
Hmm.
have to give to her. I think a lot of this
But it
was
wasn't. But it wasn't. See, these kids bought these like premium tickets to get like, meet and greets and all this kind of stuff, and they paid money. It wasn't like free. Like, you had these tiers that you could choose from. And I think free was there, but I think the ultimate package was you would stand on, you know, the VIP lines, and you would get meet and greets, and you would be getting exclusive, like, you know, swag and things like that. And it just, that's why it was such a big scam, because she had said it was free, but there was a lot of people that couldn't differentiate who was free and who was the ones that paid all that money. So it was like, it was just one big jam session of a fuckery, because nobody
Yeah.
was, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't
Yeah.
free at all.
Well, but the thing is that
Exactly.
where were these parents with these kids? Because I saw the lines. There were
Yeah.
a lot of kids under the age of 18.
I'd
Where
be
were these
damned.
parents
Mm-hmm.
not going to their credit card companies within the first 2.5 hours saying, I was scammed?
I'm sure they did. I mean, again, you know,
But I
you.
mean, standing in line,
Mm-hmm.
going to, and I don't think now, a lot of people gave me shit because this was an unpopular opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tana had a huge responsibility in it.
Mm-hmm.
However, the person that she hired, Michael, whatever his last name is,
Yeah,
for Good
Michael.
Times,
Right.
he had the bulk of the responsibility for making sure that the bags were there, that the merch was there, that these, you know, she delivered on getting her YouTube friends to show up.
Yeah, but he promised what he couldn't deliver. It was way over
And
his head.
that was on him though. He signed a
Mm-hmm.
contract with her.
I agree. I do agree with that, Muffin. I mean, it was Tana, and I wasn't surprised either, because again, you know, I mean, I know she sat and apologized about, like, oh, I didn't think about it, and it's an event, and I should have, you know, and I fucked it up, blah blah blah, and then it was like, then she went to Shane, you know, and Shane is I think that's where the documentaries all started at that point, you know, trying to like open up, like, where did it go wrong? And I don't think anybody ever got an answer. It was just, it was Michael blaming Tana, Tana blaming Michael, and at the end of it, you know, it was like Shane was like, well, how do we rectify this, you know? And
Right,
it took
because
on.
he was supposed to be there. He was supposed to
Hmm.
be there.
I know him and a
And
bunch of others. Yeah.
Gabby Hanna, him,
Yep. What's that girl?
the Dolan twins.
Emma Chamberlain, whatever her name is. Well, she was
Yep.
there.
Emma Chamberlain was there. Gabby Hanna was there. Um, who's,
Mr. McGoat.
oh my God. But that's the thing is the scheme that she cooked up with him,
Mm-hmm.
she owned, in my opinion, she owned a good chunk of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she delivered on what she said she was going to deliver on to this day, which makes her a liar. But she
No.
owned to the part that she needed to, at least on the face of it. Him, on the other hand, had a legal obligation to follow through with
Mm-hmm.
everything she signed for. Because if you saw her footage versus what he was saying, her footage matched up with what she was saying, and you could tell there were no jump cuts. You could tell there was no editing, unless they were going from point to point, and that was
Right.
it. Like her walking around with him, and you see him on his iPad playing fucking solitaire or some shit,
Mm-hmm.
trying to make himself seem more important.
You can post it if it's a link, Muffin. I just gave you a wrench for that reason. So here it goes, where I'm doing the lavender and giving everybody wrenches.
No, we wish we could freaking post memes
Well, she said
because
GIFs.
I know she said GIF, but I said memes
Mm-hmm.
because memes would be way
What,
better.
what do we like, Thomas?
Especially
How we enjoy memes? We enjoy memes.
we enjoy memes. No, our memes are way better.
They're custom made.
They are custom made.
Hmm.
Bergen even made them.
Shannon needs to start
Mm-hmm.
charging for some of them.
She really does, and I told her
Hmm.
that. I said, "You're way, way underselling." She goes, "They're free," and I said, "Exactly." She goes, it was funny because she said, "The laughs that I get, that I know I'm getting from them, are worth every penny."
Let's see. There you go. That's worth it right there. But how many think that Tana will try again this coming year in 2019?
I think she's already trying to gear up
I hope not.
for something, because you've got to realize that the the featured creator list is coming out in like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I would venture to say, if she's going to come out with anything, it's going to be within the next 2.5, 3 weeks.
Well,
If you don't hear anything from her about another con or anything like that, con, get it? Total dad joke.
mm-hmm.
She isn't going to do anything.
Right, right.
But like I
I
said,
don't
the
know.
featured creator list is going to be up. It's going to be up here, and it's going to be announced in the next. They usually announce it in the third week of December, and then again in January.
Like, I understand her intentions of the whole thing. Like, she was doing an anti-VidCon because VidCon to her was like bullshit and non-inclusive, and I get that. But for me, I don't know, just like calling it TanaCon instead of like, why didn't she try to get together with a bunch of other YouTubers that are also feeling like that instead of calling it like a TanaCon? Because I don't know, like for me, it was just so self-indulgent to be like, yeah, it's like a stick it to the VidCon, but it's not really about creators, it's about her, I don't know. Exactly, she did.
That is very true, Muffin, by the way. She did make an ass out of herself, but on the
Mm-hmm.
same time, but she caught a lot of the online hate. And I understand she was the face of it. She was the one who, this was her brainchild. But, but what did I miss? Ah, first of all, get it right. It's Mormon Con.
No, I love that. I gotta
It's
tell.
get it right. Get it Mormon Con too. He's going to be at two different cons this year. Get it right.
No, he's gonna.
QuakerCon and Mormon
Oh
Con.
no, 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 no! There's gonna be a BetterHelp Con soon.
Oh
Fucking
my
A.
God. That's
Mm-hmm.
another scandal.
Yeah, don't I know it?
That even freaking Phil DeFranco got pulled into that. And it was,
Yeah.
I kind of felt bad for Phil DeFranco, I'm not gonna lie. I really
Where,
think he was lied to.
where is it said that when you run out of all possible sponsoring, that the next thing you go to, and I think this leads into the whole fucking apology videos this year that I think it all was sponsored by BetterHelp. That this was now linked to, oh, but I had a mental illness. That's why. That's why it was a misunderstanding because blah, 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 blah. Um, no, no, no. Is there anybody convinced that he has a mental illness? I'm not. I'm not.
Who?
Manny.
Oh God, Manny, no.
Mm-hmm.
Manny, he was using it as a cop out.
Mm-hmm.
And that, in my opinion, set back a lot of people who do have mental illness and who do struggle with it and live with it every day.
Exactly. And the ones that, like I told you earlier offline, the ones that I would relate to in my videos, because when I talk about it, I'm talking from experience, and this isn't about trying to get, like some sort of sponsorship. It's like if you try to do that now, people will look at you like, oh, so is BetterHelp sponsoring you or mentoring this or whatever the case is? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like,
No, I fucking wish.
I can't, AJ. I can't.
AJ, you're such a bitch.
I
I
love it
love it.
though.
No, he's such a douche, though. He really does deserve every amount of ribbing that he gets. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that the minute anybody starts catching heat, they claim they claim mental health.
Right.
That's the first thing they go for, and it's pissing me the fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sorry, again, unpopular opinion. I don't. Do I think that Thomas probably struggled with an eating disorder? Yes. Do I think it might have been something that he'd been struggling with for a very, very, very long time? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That in itself is a mental health disorder. Body dysmorphia is a very real thing.
Mm-hmm.
However, this didn't come into play, and he's never spoken about it previously until he was catching shit.
Mm-hmm. The excuses were so wide, garden variety this year. From all of the comments, not comments, from all the tweets that were posted after, right after trying to expose somebody that they said was known racist, said racist things in the past, but in my opinion personally, and I know it's an unpopular one as well because a lot of people don't feel that Jeffree Star is not a racist. I don't think he is. I think he's had situations where he's used the wrong terminologies and the wrong ways of responding. The man sat and said, that's a person that I'm not happy I was. That's a person that I no
Mm-hmm.
longer am. That's a person taking responsibility. When you take responsibility and instead of using, well, I live in Alabama, we never learned about this kind of stuff. I'm like, is she fucking kidding me?
Right.
Or
Blaming it on people
the most
instead of
lamest,
taking the
yeah,
responsibility for it.
2018 had to be the most lamest excuses for reasons why people behaved badly.
Yep.
And I can go down the line. For reasons why people behave badly, let's use the worst possible excuses ever, 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 ever. Oh, I didn't learn that. I was 15 when I made those tweets. Excuse me, Nikita. Excuse me. I think she got right under that radar. I think
Oh, she got off scot
she should have
free.
gotten as much, if not more, a just to be told, not even like nobody's saying that people should be like, public witch hunt, whatever. Just to be told, listen, you did wrong here. Your friends are wrong. You chimed in. You did something just as foul as they did. You all need to take responsibility. You all need to do something collectively to show that this is something that should not be tolerated and something you shouldn't be showing to the people that follow you because that's
Right.
who keeps you going. Okay. Manny, I'm sorry. I knew Manny was going to make excuses for everything and anything he did, especially when it came down to that fan that he's like, oh, she was coming over to me and I was looking at Jeffree and you're no, no.
Oh yeah, with the eye roll.
that
Yeah.
that first video he made, which everybody thought was going to be the official apology to Jeffree, ended up being about her, and that was a bunch of BS, and that was the BetterHelp sponsored video. And then the next one, where he kept saying it's a misunderstanding, it's miscommunication, it's this, that, and the other thing. These people have PR people, they have agents, they have people that work with them, they have their families. Do you not think at some point they get advised somewhere that maybe that's not the best move for you to be making? Maybe that's not the best thing for you to be saying, or that's not the best situation for you to be getting involved in. They all act like they're in their teens, like, oh, we didn't know any better. Come on. When do you take responsibility?
Well, as AJ pointed out, some people, use weather as an excuse. Just saying.
That's that. Okay. When it comes down to it, if you're going to make some sort of comment or, again, whatever it is, however you allude to something, or if you're going to say something about something using a terminology or a word that may not be the right word, remember what you're doing in the process. Once you
Mm-hmm.
hit send or once you hit record, okay, know that once it hits the public, anything that you have said in that light, the way that you expressed it, is going to come back at you threefold. I don't care how you say it or the way you say it or why it was said. There are things you don't do in a civilized society. And I think we forgot about that, okay? Because we're so technologically advanced and everything is about, saying things online behind computers, behind screens that people would never fucking say. in anybody
Nope.
else's face.
Nope.
Okay,
Never.
nobody would say the things that went on that we saw personally. Could you imagine that person walking up to anybody in California and saying, well,
Okay, press 1 if you all think that this person would have walked up to any person experiencing the fires and said what they said. And go.
there is a lack of empathy. There is a lack of being a human being when it comes down to it. Even if it reaches you and you feel, that day, like, this so and so pissed me off, or somebody is really getting on my nerves, and you say, like, I wish they would just, whatever. You don't need to post it. You may feel that way, but you don't need to post it.
Well, see, here's the thing. Bergen, myself, Shannon, you, we all think about it, and and a lot of people, Muffin too, and AJ, and anybody that's in here right now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Michael, all of them. We think about what we say before we say it, and
Mm-hmm.
even if we don't think about what we said before we said it, I would still say it to your face. You would say it to my face. He would
Mm-hmm.
say it to anybody's face. Bergen has a brass fucking pair. How he hasn't gotten his face rearranged numerous times over me knowing him, I don't know, but he hasn't. But this person would never, and I do mean ever, she would never say anything that would even remotely come close to what she said online to anyone's face in
And
any
keep
situation.
and in the interim of it all, keep it going. Once it died down, once the fuel of the original melee died down, then to keep it going by quote unquote trolling. I don't subscribe to that kind of logic. That kind of logic to me is not only immature and not only succinctly nasty. I'm sorry, because if I use other terminologies, then I'm disparage.
Diabolically evil, just
Right.
say it.
Yes. No, no, no. I'm saying I don't want to disparage anyone's character because my initial reaction was yes, because to me, hearing anybody say anything into that term, I don't care what the reason is, to me, that sounds like an evil thing to say. That's the most evil thing you say. Okay. Wishing
Mm-hmm.
that kind of harm on people is evil. I'm not.
It's not even just that. Okay. Let's take the evil part out of it for a second. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take the downright wretchedness out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That is such shitty karma.
Mm-hmm.
Such bad juju, whatever you want to believe in, putting that shit
Mm-hmm.
out into the universe, saying that people deserve it. Certain people deserve it. And then to double down and post a bunch of shit on IG. And then, I can't.
No, I know where you're going with that. And again, and most people would say, "Oh, what's the big deal?" You take it out of context, or ha ha ha, it's funny. That's the problem with the world. You take something like that and you set that
You can't
example.
take it out of context.
Right.
There was no context to be had. So you can't
Right.
take something out of context that was never in context. You set forth the context by writing what you did.
Right.
And then nobody asked me what I meant. Didn't think I needed to because it was pretty fucking clear. I'm sorry.
Well,
I know people who were personally affected by the fires.
mm-hmm.
Even though they didn't see it, I was offended for them. And I don't care if it wasn't my place or it was my place. I have friends that could have lost everything. They ended up with what they would consider moderate smoke damage, which still is going to cost them a shit ton of money to fucking fix.
Mm-hmm.
All of their furniture, everything, they'll never be able to get that smell out.
Mm-hmm.
So, no. So when people sit there and use the guise of, I'm misunderstood, I have mental health issues, I ate, I drank 50,000 Red Bulls today, or whatever the excuse may be,
Then
own
that's
your
the
shit.
moment.
Own your
Right.
shit. And I'm going to be honest with you. Have there been
Mm-hmm.
times where I haven't owned my shit right away? Yep,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. But guess what? Eventually, I own my shit. I don't double down on it.
Mm-hmm. That's the
Because
moment
I have
where,
this little thing called the conscience.
well,
I have a
yeah.
little Jiminy Cricket, and sometimes her name is Shannon. But still, because she's about the same size as Jiminy Cricket. But that's the point, is we may be stubborn as
Are
a
you
race.
serious? Valerie, hi Valerie, by the way. Some conservative assholes in Facebook groups saying us Californians deserve the forest. That is the most awful thing I've ever heard.
That is so awful. I am so sorry, Valerie.
Yep, yep. And there's your proof right there. Okay? That it does not matter the tone or the, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you're having a day where something of this effect is like, wow, oh yeah, well, this reminds me of so and so, or when somebody cried wolf about this, or my family says it doesn't matter. Take it off the fucking internet. Talk about it amongst your friends, or
If
something that's
you
not
feel that,
exactly.
if you feel that strongly about it, take it in private.
I definitely would have done the same thing, because that's just awful. That's like if
Yeah,
you
exactly.
that's like people that would make fun of 9/11. Okay. These are not things, and I understand people have their own ways and methods of dealing with tragedy. I get that. I really do. I do. Because I had a friend that said to me, he goes, you know what? It's not about the fact that I didn't think 9/11 was such a tragedy. He goes, but I had to laugh because that's all I could do. It's the only way I could deal. Not laugh at what happened,
But
but
there's some people who have that affect thing where that's all
right,
they
right,
they
right.
laugh in very uncomfortable situations because that's
Right.
the only thing that their body
Yeah, can
knows how to deal.
right there, that kind of react exactly. And if that's the case, you can even accept that. But there's nothing that is worse than when you try to make people believe and see things that weren't there. That it's not just one person, it's not just me or just you or just Shannon or just Mike or just AJ. It's a whole ton of people that saw this, that repeated it in scopes, that talked about it themselves, their version of how upsetting it was, how, and yet who was targeted because I said two words? Me. Well, you know what? Again, if it were any one of my friends, and I said this in my scope, if it were Chris, if Nikki, if it were Liz, if it was any one of my close friends and they said something that's stupid, I tell them the same damn thing. Okay? Bottom line. That's where it went. Nothing more,
Right.
nothing less. It's not about a hate campaign. It's not about, oh, you secretly disliked me, so that's the reason you're talking about. No, it's not. It's about the fact that as a human being, I'm not used to hearing people like that. I don't know anybody that would talk that way. Okay, so I'm publicly offended. Not only am I publicly offended, I'm morally outraged. And I'm sorry if that's an OG thing to be in this day and age, but that's what I was. And somebody had to step up and say, guess what? I don't condone that. And I like this person, but that's a bunch of garbage.
And you did say that, and I'm gonna be honest. There was a few people that were like, "Oh crap,"
Mm-mm.
you know, Dawn's gonna
Nope.
defend her again,
Nope.
and there was, look, I'm not the only one who felt that way. Okay, I'm
Oh
not the
no,
only
I
one.
know, I know. I'm fully aware. fully aware. And again, I don't know where anyone honestly would get that something to that degree that I would actually have the any kind of inclination to make an excuse, because there are no excuses for things like that. You can make excuses about, other people that are ragging on your clothes, or, saying things like that, which I thought was wrong. You can make an excuse for, saying somebody doesn't like, an artist another person likes, or another painting, or another, and knocking that kind of stuff, and leaving it alone and letting that person deal with it. But for me, it's like, how can you not know how wrong that was? How can you not?
Right.
And then to make matters even worse, because the trolling's not enough. No, we had to go and make an apology and stick two fingers up to people going, "Oh yeah, I'm really sorry."
But I was called out for making fun of her for that.
You're going to be called out no matter what, Tanya, because your entire resume of the things that happened involving you are always going to follow you. That's always going to be the case. Um, and I've said this before to you, and you and another person, and even Nick, and I know Nick, if you mention him, hi Nick.
No, he's fine.
No, no,
He
no,
he
not
doesn't he
now.
doesn't want to get involved in the bullshit.
No, and
That's
that's
the
fine.
whole point.
I'm just saying, in the I'm not trying to draw like, oh, you guys are just nothing but this, but I'm saying in the past that the most outward of, things that are linked to them, and as far as like dramatics and things that went down, the three of you were the ones that always mixed it up with people that had the most issues. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mhm.
So I mean, Nick felt this too. It was like, why do people keep mentioning me? Why do people? Because of the things and the way that they were done and how far it went. There were some things that were pushed a little too far, and that's why it gets brought up again and again and again. See, that's why I said when I talked about it on my scope, I'm not talking about things she's done 2 years ago, a year ago, 6 months ago. I'm talking about this.
Right.
It's a isolated incident, and everything that anybody speaks about as far as like in relevance to this, it's an isolated incident. It's not about, I hate this person. If you dislike this person before, well, this is only going to make it worse. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not painting you in a better light now. People are not just going to be like, oh yeah, let me squash this with her, while you just continue this bad way of handling yourself. And if you're not learning from that, if you're not growing from that, if you're not willing to understand another person's perspective, what are you doing on the internet then? That's my question. That was my
I can get
question.
behind that. I can see that.
Because I don't find that to be something that I can relate to. I can't see it in myself to be relatable to that. I can't. Call me a goody goody. I just can't. It doesn't feel good to me knowing that that's something that a person would feel about another person. And at some point, probably will feel about me. God forbid something happens, another, God forbid if anything happened, maybe in my neighborhood, my neck of the woods, my state, my whatever. Oh, good. She deserves it. You know what I'm saying?
That's but that's the whole point, is where does the line get drawn? It doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
who it is. It could be the person that we're inherently talking about, or it could be in the grand scheme of things.
Exactly.
Where is the line drawn? Where
Where's the end
do
game? Mm-hmm.
where is this all going to lead you? Because as far as I'm concerned, I have addressed who and what I wanted to address. I've apologized for the things I've said and done.
Mm-hmm.
I've owned them. If you don't want to accept that apology, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm moving on with my life.
Mm-hmm.
Period. End of discussion. Flip the page.
Yep. And there's nothing more,
But
nothing
there's
less.
always, and that's the thing, is you can either take me at my word, at face value, at whatever, and say, well, she's a bitch. I don't like her. Okay, then. Bye. I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I'm not going to please everybody. The fact that I have the core group of friends that I have, I'm very thankful for.
Mm-hmm.
Very thankful for. And it was a hard lesson for me to learn that not everybody who says they're my friend actually gives a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at things from the outside and you see how it's all playing out,
Mm-hmm.
you know for a fact what's coming around that other bend.
Right.
And they're looking down the barrel of a very, 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 very long, lonely road because of the excuses that they've made.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got people co-signing and making excuses for the behavior. So that only furthers their mindset of, well, if this person says that I did this because of XYZ, then that's the story I'm going to roll with. And the next time I do something like this, or worse, I'm going to use that as a jumping off point.
Mm-hmm.
And then this person will come to my rescue again and again and again. And that's where you were scapegoated into.
Oh, I know. And I know that
And
it's a form of enabling, and I understand that, and I understand why people would say, like, how can you just stand, I've been said, that's been said to me a million times, like, oh, how can you, that's, how can you stand this, or how can you stand that? And at some point for me it was like, well, part of it was, a lot of it was, I don't believe one person should be targeted all the time. And we all do things sometimes, and sometimes we're misunderstood or what have you. And I felt that about a lot of people. I just didn't come public with it, because every time I say something, it's like it's taken out of context. So, there have been times that
or words are put into your mouth.
that too, that too. Um, and the sad part is that if you really cared that I hurt you by my reaction or my opinion, there are other ways to go about it. And bringing up that, oh, maybe I was having an episode. Like
That
I
pissed
couldn't
me off.
I
I'm not
couldn't
going to lie.
possibly see, here's how I take this. I couldn't possibly have reacted just because it was something that was offensive. I was probably, something had to be because I was, I have a mental illness. So I was having an episode, because where did that come from? Did you ever stop and think that maybe morally that's where it came from? No, it had to
Right.
be because you have a mental illness. Oh, and that's okay. That's fair game, because you publicly said you have a mental illness. Yeah, I did publicly speak about, yes, that I've had several types of depressions and gone through things and diagnosis and things like that. And then I had her on my channel, when we were trying to help somebody I care about. And she was very helpful, and I gave her credit for it, and I still give her credit for it, because she did something out of the box that I didn't expect of her, and I appreciated it. But then she goes from that to turning around and saying, oh, I don't know what's wrong with her. She's having an episode. That to me is
Yeah,
not,
not acceptable.
no, it's as unacceptable as me saying diabolically evil. But for me, again, it isn't jumping on anybody's bandwagon. It's saying, you said something. Do you understand the length of how offensive it was? Not that I hate you. I said it a million times. I don't hate her. I don't dislike her. I care for her. I like her a lot. But this, I'm not condoning. But we went from that, and oh, and the other thing, I trolled. I told this girl that I trolled my channel for content.
Never happened.
8 years, people. 8 years. I'd like to know once where there was any kind of a situation where that would have made sense. That doesn't make sense.
Never
You've
happened.
We've been on hangouts together, Tanya. You and I have been on
Mhm.
hangouts together, on my channel, on your channel. We've
Mhm.
experienced pretty much the same types of trolls. That other person and I have experienced the same types of trolls. So you're about to say that I'm that creative, and they weren't only on my channel. It was very, very few and far between.
Right.
That I'm that desperate or that creative to make up that something was happening to me. So what kind of trolling are we talking about? Are we talking about the kind of trolling that people were making up accounts with my daughter's face on them? I would do something that evil. I'd rather slit my wrists than ever do anything that stupid. Okay?
Right.
Um the Josh situation, how many of us incurred that? How many of us
Oh God.
that
Too
we all
many.
heard, publicly? it being said. Okay, so what are we talking about? This, when you're going to say something like that in public, like she tells me about my saying things about her, if you're going to say, I want to know where and where's the proof. I appreciate that, Mike. Where's the proof? Because I want somebody to come back and show me where that is true. The one and only time I ever made up any kind of a trolling situation, we had this conversation, Tanya. You know where I'm going
Mhm.
with it. And I told
Mhm.
Nick the same thing. Is I went on Twitter, made up an account to go after Nick and only Nick. And it lasted a total of 3 days. Because for me, my conscience was kicking in, and I was in a mind frame around that time that that whole purge thing was happening. It didn't matter to me. I wanted to just get back at him. And I talked about this publicly. I don't have that type of a mythology, pathology to want to do something like that because to me, I worked too hard, brought too much on my channel, have gone through too many, transitions to ever do something that stupid. And it doesn't make sense. So if you're trying to convince me that I did something I never did, try again.
Right.
I know that. I appreciate that. And I know that I've made people not understand me in a lot of different ways in my own personal scopes and things I've said, publicly when I've had fallouts with anybody. Like, well, like, why are you acting like that? Or why do you feel that way? Or why are you getting so upset about these kinds of things? And I can get that when a person doesn't know you. But I'm pretty forthcoming and I have been pretty forthcoming up until recent times.
Right.
And that's when I got just after a while, just like you did, after a while, I was like, it's not worth it for me. And I used to enjoy doing all the things I used to do, sharing wise on my channel. I used to enjoy the vlogging. I used to enjoy the collie chats. And then I try to go back to it. But, once you're kind of burned, you kind of have this way of holding back. So
Mhm.
you're not the same way. And that's
And
unfortunate
it comes
because
off. And it
yeah,
comes
and
off that
and
way.
that's my experience here. So when people say, "Oh, I don't understand why you don't have hangouts," the best thing you've ever done on your channel was hangouts. Well, then you never really supported me because that was a very short time. And yeah,
Right.
I do enjoy this. I like seeing people come in and laughing and joking around and all that stuff. I enjoy it. What I don't enjoy is the amount of fuckery that has come with it, or people that like to take things and pick it apart and say what I really meant to say here and what I did here and who I had on and who I'm friends with and who I'm not friends with. It's exhausting.
It's
It's
none of anybody's
exhausting.
God blessed business who you're
No,
friends with and who you're not. It doesn't affect who you are to them, or it
no.
shouldn't anyway.
No, it should never matter. It should never matter. And I don't have any kind of agendas toward people. I don't have the want to like destroy people or hurt their characters or just I don't have any of that. I have my own life to worry about. And that's it. I care about people if they want to be my friends. I'm their friends to however, whatever capacity they need me to be
Right.
until that is, and you know this because we went through this together, until that is compromised in certain ways where it's unforgivable, then
Mhm.
see
Kick
ya.
rocks, dude.
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry,
And that's
AJ. So she plays, if you point out what she's done, she'll act like a spoiled kid. Yep. Yep, exactly.
and it's beyond that. It's just acting, and it's not just her, and it's not just about me, and it's not just about Dawn. It's just in
Mm-mm.
general
Mm-hmm.
this society in which people think that there's no consequences for their words. And back in the day, which was Wednesday, you know, people would have gotten popped in the damn mouth. They would have gotten a schoolyard freaking brawl, beat the fuck out of them, and then it would have been done. until that person decided to open their mouth again, whether it be about the same person or a different person again, get the shit kicked out of them until they learn their lesson. At some point, personal accountability has to come into play. And there are going to be some people, oh, wow, man, she's talking about personal accountability. She has never accounted. Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And you know what? For those people, you know what? Nothing I will do will ever make you happy. Nothing I ever say you will agree with. So it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Enjoy your life. Enjoy the holidays. Have fun. Be merry. And stop stressing yourself out about what I'm saying.
That's it.
That's what it comes down to.
That's it. It's the holiday season. Why is it around this time so fervently that it's about, let's get back at this person because I don't like what they said, I don't like what they did, and this is good, this is going to be, you know, I'm going to get my revenge. This is the time to turn that off. Walk away if it feels this, you know, if you feel this strongly, walk away. It's not worth it. In the end of it all, it's not making anybody look better. It just causes more sparks to be started elsewhere, where the fires get bigger and bigger and bigger. No pun intended. And
oh, Dawn, you mentioned fires.
I know I did, but I did not mean it that way.
You must be unsympathetic to those that were affected, so you must be strung up.
No. Again, my bad. Anyway, I just don't understand. I don't subscribe to that either. I don't subscribe to that knowledge, that kind of, you know, thought process. Well, now it's my turn, and let the games begin. Like, leave it alone. Leave it alone. There are more important things that you don't need to keep dragging the same thing out again and again and again. And that goes for me too. Like, after today with this whole thing, and yesterday with this whole thing, and I've been mentally just, here we go, I'm saying it publicly, I've been mentally going back and forth, you know, with my own things, and
it's draining.
It is.
It's so draining.
Mm-hmm. Oh my
I think
God.
everyone gets mad Christmas shopping, and then they get online grumpy, and then they stir the shit pot.
Levi,
yes.
Levi, I miss you so much. Oh my God. Hi, Levi.
Hi, Levi. How are you, bud?
I hope so. I hope not. I hope so. I hope they go. No, I hope not. Well, listen, I don't know. Like, I think
that would actually kind of make sense, though, Muffin. Mm-hmm. People are all pissy about Christmas shopping and spending money and going into debt, which is a whole other story for another day. Why go into debt? But, you know, mm-hmm. It's like, dude, just stop.
Yep.
Just stop. It's a very simple thing. I've stayed quiet. I've said my piece. I'm, you know, mildly irritated at the fact that my friendship with Dawn is now made to be used to something to try to make her feel bad.
Yeah, no. I'm a grown woman like, with a teenager, with a teenage daughter, and I have my own mind, and I'm not stupid, and I'm not blind, and what have you, and I'm not co-signing to any bad behavior, and I'm not, you know, looking to jump on anybody's bandwagon. That's never been me, and it never will be me. You know, once upon a time, being involved in all of the drama, and, you know, having, you know, these hangouts and going on about, you know, who did what, that's behind me. You know, I talk very publicly about everything, you know, morally, when I feel something strongly, and I very rarely get on Periscope. And that's another thing. It's like, I'm sure people are like, oh, you're in a Periscope out of nowhere. No, when I have something to say, I say it, and that's it. I don't need to go on for days and days and days. I mean, she extends hyperbole here, that it's been going on for hours and hours and hours. No, I did talk a long time, because I haven't been talking for a long time to you guys in public and how I feel. And I do extend, you know, a lot more than if it was like over a period of 6 months. But That's what I'm saying. Like it's been like a year since or not even, no, it's been 8 months because the last time was when Chris and I were telling people he was moving. So
Right.
it's, it's not like this is my new project to start, bashing somebody publicly. No, I don't enjoy that. I didn't enjoy doing that. I don't enjoy talking to people that know me about all this negative crap. I don't. But I can't sit back and have that sit on my chest. I can't.
Why would we need to jump on your back, AJ? He's got more than enough room.
And if we want to expose me for anything or try to expose me for anything, go right ahead. Like if that's your game, whatever it is, if we want to go back to mental illness and, the fact that there's been something wrong with me or what have you, how many more times do I have to say I've battled things and I'm going through things and I'm in therapy and, what have you. But we take
How
it to the,
often can you bash someone over the head, though, for
yeah.
having mental health issues
Well,
and then, praising them for being vocal about it and upfront about it, and then taking that same information and using it to bash them over their head? That takes a special kind of psycho. No offense, not diagnosing anyone, but that takes a special kind of psycho to do something like that. I'm sorry,
well,
to take
then
someone at
let's,
their weakest moment and then capitalize on it when it suits them. That's gross.
because,
Sorry.
when you're in the phases of anger, you go through several different things. At first it's like infuriation and you block everything out. You don't want to hear anything. No explanation's good enough. And at that point, you just want to react like Bergen was saying, just like punch people in the face. And
Mhm.
then from that, it goes to a sadness about why it was said and who it came from. And then it goes to frustration. Like, how do I get it across that that's just not cool? And then, and here's where I'm at because yesterday I had the frustration. Then it comes down to now we're just going around in circles, beating a dead horse, and you're trying to continually gaslight me. Now, sayonara, I don't care what happens. And if you do, and I'll say it publicly because I said it and I'll say it again, if there's anything I hear with my voice elsewhere, I will not hesitate to strike a channel because I don't give a flying crap about what you think, what case you're going to make. I know who I am. I know what I have said and haven't said and have done and have not done. And if you're going to try and play that by taking it apart and doing what you did with other people, I am going to be forced to strike your channel. No questions asked. Because now I know now you're just doing it because you need to have your say after all of this is done because it never ends. Somebody has to come back with another say and another say and another say. I don't have any more to say. I've had nothing more to say since this happened, but because it was, now thrown out there about, other things, like it was made into bigger things. Okay, Muffin, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Muffin.
Um, go at it. I have no other response to you. Go at it. I have no other response to you. Obviously, it's a brick wall, and that's the end of it. But if I hear my voice played elsewhere, I'm striking it.
And we know certain people can't afford another strike.
Well, regardless, some
I'm
people
just
don't,
saying.
some people don't care about the kind of creator you are or what you're trying to accomplish or, what you're doing. And
Right.
that to me speaks volumes, even though I may not agree with all of another person's content. I may not watch everything. I do consider myself a support. And
Mhm.
And not only that channel, I've had to pull myself away from other channels because of certain criteria that I didn't meet, because I feel like I've been on YouTube, I've done YouTube a long time, and I know sometimes things can get out of control. And if you are
Mhm.
going to ask my help, you're going to get the kind of help I give you. If that's not what you want, don't ask for it. And don't publicly, and I'm not talking about her now, don't
I know.
publicly say, um, what'd you do that for? Or no, that was a mistake. See, no, no. I'm struggling to ever want to help anybody, not you, present company excluded. I struggle to want to have to help anybody again, because what it comes down to is you're going to do whatever you want. You're going to do however you want to do it, no matter what kind of advice you ask for. You're going to do whatever the fuck you want anyway.
Right.
I know, AJ, and I appreciate that. Um,
Sabroso crew. Rolling up in here.
yeah, that's, and there's people that just want to see you enjoy yourself, and they want to see you laugh, and they want to see you give, good vibes out there. And then there are people that want to hear your misery, and I'm not about that. I'm not.
Well, there's going to be some naysayers, and we all know
That's
that,
fine.
oh, you guys just went out there to hurt her, blah, blah, blah.
No,
No. This is the
nope.
night that her and I both had free. Just
No,
so we're
had
clear.
nothing to this wasn't about hurting anybody. This is, again, we had a discussion prior to all this, that I was going through something, and it was, Tanya's saying, like, let's do this, and let's laugh, and let's joke around, let's talk about stuff, and then let's not talk about stuff if we don't want to. We just naturally talk about stuff because we're being adults that can, uh, you know, what do you call it? We can identify the issues, because it's not about sitting here making excuses. It's about saying, okay, now
Let's
let's,
find solutions.
yeah, exactly. Or move on from it, because at this state of the game, all it is toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not about the toxicity. I've gone there, been there, got the t-shirt. I don't need it again. I feel sad, and I'll get over it. I will. I'll get over it. I know I will. I don't choose to want to have, like, I don't choose to want to have kind of dissension with anybody. I don't. But I'm not going to stand there and have my integrity questioned. I'm not going to stand there and listen to somebody try to make me feel like I've done something. Exactly. Oops, no, I didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that. No, damn it. Why does YouTube make you choose if this is a good comment or not? It was fine. I don't get that.
What are you talking about?
No, AJ just said just shooting the shit and chilling, and then it was like, YouTube is like hide or seek.
Oh, for fuck's sake. They're
I can't
dumb.
I can't stand that. It's annoying.
They're dumb. I really wish someone, a YouTuber especially, would come up with a platform, especially one of these bigger ones like PewDiePie or someone.
Mm-hmm.
They throw their money in whole hog and start over and do like an old school YouTube where it's about the creators, it's about just for the love of content. And I'm sure that their advertisers would come in droves because there's so many. I'm sure there's so many people and so many companies that they turn down because they don't pay enough money. Much like us smaller, creators can't get seen because we're not big enough. There's probably companies out there that can't get ad space because they don't pay enough.
Sorry, I was
I'm
talking to
gone.
Joe.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're cool. Hi, Joe.
No, gotta be up in 2 hours.
Tanya says hi, Joe.
Yeah, gotta be up in 2 hours, so.
Again?
All week.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway. and I hate this because I don't know how to put it back, but it's like, I'm sorry, AJ. Didn't mean to do that.
Whoopsie poopsie. There's an old school throwback.
What's that?
Whoopsie poopsie.
Oh. Did we lose Shannon too?
I think Shannon knocked out, I'm going to be
Oh,
honest.
okay.
I think Bergen knocked out too.
Oh, that's
What
cool.
time is it there?
It
It's 12:30.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
Lord.
what do you want to
Y'all need to go to bed. It's
do?
still 11:30 here.
I wonder if some think about YouTube not being a moneymaker. I don't.
I never went into YouTube expecting to make money. It was a
Mm-hmm.
pleasant surprise that I was able to get a check when I did. And I
Yeah.
never expected another one ever again. I'm going to be honest. It's nice. It was a nice feeling to say, oh, wow, cool, a little bit of extra money.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I did it because it was fun. And I've been not doing it because I've been scared. I've been scared by numerous people with their idle threats, and I'm not going to allow for that to happen anymore.
Honestly, for me, in the beginning, it was a hobby. And I found out that people made money off this, but I was like, oh, I would never be in in that kind of like number set where it would be something monetary for me. But I mean, I made a little bit of a growth. And like you said, when the money was coming in, it's like, oh, wow, this is a potential thing. This could be, but it is a job and it's a full-time job. And it's not only that, but people don't realize that it takes more to sink in than you're getting out of it. Putting
Mm-hmm.
putting a lot of money into products and lighting and cameras and editing and programs and things like that. So the stuff that you get back, which honestly, over the years, it's not even just about the monetary. It's more for me, like I have gotten so much out of it by meeting people and being able to go places and being able to be seen by companies and brands and things like that. And it's all really like you can build it from there. But unfortunately, when we're on the same platform as the famous ones, and you see where that goes, that's where the kids think. When the kids watch this, they're like, oh wow, they get all these brand trips and this money and this makeup and this
What they
you
don't
know
seem to realize and what they don't think of is it took them how long to get there? How
mm-hmm.
much money did they have to reinvest? And that's the thing is you never get your initial return on investment ever whenever you're
No.
investing in any business. You can only hope to break even.
Mm-hmm.
Then with that money, with breaking even, you reinvest that. And then
Mm-hmm.
the following year, you might make a small percentage more than your initial investment. That is your initial return on investment.
Right.
If you're not taking that money and putting it right back into your business, i.e., you're not going to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to do anything with it. There are some people on this platform that think it's an overnight success. And yes, you've got people like James Charles, who, in the grand scheme of things, was an overnight success because of CoverGirl, based on a lie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because he got exposed by Ellen on a lie. So, I mean, does it matter now? Does it negate his talent now? No, not even a little bit. Does it make me question sometimes? Yeah. But short of a person like James Charles, who is just so inherently business savvy and talented, just
Mm-hmm.
talented in his little pinky, it's never going to happen for someone like that. They have to put in the work. I mean,
Yeah.
look at what happened to Graveyard Girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's a prime example. Someone who is at the top of her game, getting brand deals, uh, just sponsorships after sponsorships, and then she hits the skids. Like, if that shows you how it can go from feast to famine in less than 2 years,
Well,
that's the whole thing.
whether you're a huge channel, a middle of the road channel, a small channel, whatever it is, you all go through the same, I think, you all go through the same mentality after a while, that you hit a brick wall, you kind of don't know where to go as far as creatively, or how to keep people interested. And there's so many different changes, and so therefore you have to reinvent yourself again. And some of us can, and some of us feel like, well, how much more can I reinvent? How much more can I squeeze out of the stone, when I'm just trying to be myself, and I'm just trying to, share what I love. But, at the same time, now it's like everything has to be so over the top, and it's got to be this amazing editing and amazing, like
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And you have to
People
take
don't
it.
have that kind of money.
Yeah. You have to take into consideration. Yeah. You do, of course you invest in your art and yourself, but it doesn't always work. People can sink so many dollars and so much money into something and have it completely just fall apart and fail, and
That's with
that,
any business, though. I
yeah.
mean, if you think about it, if you take yourself as a business, me as Tanya, you as Dawn, and we're business.
Mm-hmm.
Your business is more profitable than my business because you put more work into it, right?
But I've also have neglected a lot of it. I've also watched it kind of just diminish, and it's nothing the way it was, and it's been stagnant for 2 years. And I'm not blind to that. It's just for me that I say, okay, well, what more could I possibly really do without having to repeat what people are tired of watching, or where can I go with this? And it's an exhausting process to sit there, and then you doubt yourself, you doubt that you have anything more to offer. And that's why, like I said yesterday, it's time maybe to just pack it in, and that's it.
Listen, it, there are certain people that I will say they're not talented, or they're talented, they caught a lucky break. James Charles, if you look at his drag looks, if you look at, a lot of his artistry in makeup, he's
Hmm.
very talented. Very
Yeah,
talented.
absolutely.
And again, he caught a lucky break, and he caught a lucky break with a lie.
Hmm.
But that, in my opinion, does not take away from his talent. He's
No.
very smart. He is very smart and very business savvy. And I think that's why Jeffrey is being his friend, but more of a business mentor than a friend.
I
AJ, you goof.
I have to say,
Oh,
now that we're on the subject of Jeffree Star, I have to say, there's nobody more that I kind of got it more endeared towards than him this year. I saw so much of a difference in where he was last year, where I couldn't stand him. Couldn't stand him. Couldn't stand that he was, best friends with Manny and Lauren, all them, and it seemed very fake and forced, and it just didn't seem relatable, to a year later, where he's so he's passionate, he cares, he's personable. I appreciate that he let new people into his life. I think the best thing that ever happened was that documentary Shane did with him.
oh my God. Allowing Shane in
Mm-hmm.
like that, I
Yep.
think was a huge,
Uh-huh.
I bet you that was the biggest leap of faith he ever took in his life, next to
Yep.
his makeup brand,
Yep.
because it was either going to flop or it was going to fly. Because
And
Jeffrey is a very polarizing person, just like, the Paul brother that he did the docuseries
Jake,
on, Jake
Jake
Paul.
Paul. Mm-hmm.
I found myself, I'm like, I am not going to watch him. I am not watching. Yeah, I ended up binge watching the entire docuseries on Jake Paul.
Oh,
And you
telling
want to
you.
know something?
Mm-hmm.
I subscribe to Jake Paul.
I can't say
I subscribe to him.
I can't say I went there, but I did go a little further. I watched Erica, which now, of course, I find this the irony in all this that they broke up like shortly after that whole thing.
Well, it was because he saw what she said
Mm,
about his friends, about his
mm-hmm,
family.
mm-hmm.
And because I'm sure that the conversation was had with Shane saying, I want that interview footage with Erica.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I thought of him as a human too. And again, I love the way Shane draws things out of people, and it's not even like he's being interrogating, or that he's, fielding really hard questions. He's fielding them just like, you'd sit there talking to your friend, like, okay, so let's talk about your breakup, and let's go there. And his whole squad, that's another thing. I love his whole squad. I love Rylan. I love Morgan. I love Garrett. They're
Garrett,
relatable.
I want to hug
I
because
know.
he's just so stinking cute. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, I love Garrett. And when he swapped cars with Jeffree Star,
Mm-hmm.
when he went to go pick up that guy in his Prius,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then when Jeffree goes, if he can't take you at your Prius, he doesn't deserve you at your Lambo, and they blew past him in the Lamborghini. I love that. And as far as the Jackie Ina thing
I
goes,
was just gonna say, do you want to feel that one?
oh my God. Okay, so it wasn't so much that it was the generalization that actually got to me versus what was actually said.
Mm-hmm.
It was if, you know, in the whole black people can't be racist thing or people of color can't be racist. It's, you can be prejudiced. You can. It's very easy. But at the end of the day, again, it doesn't matter. What Jackie Ina had to say to me was rude. It could have been, I think this was a misunderstanding. I think, I may have worded it wrong. I was probably irritated. I'm sorry. And she could have not meant it. She could have blown smoke up my ass. I wouldn't have known the difference. But the way she came at me, the way she came at my friend Candace, I was not having it.
I
This
think
was the
Karina.
second time. That was the second time. The
Mm-hmm.
second time that she went in on somebody because she went in on D too.
D.
Went after D, Nick's friend D.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Vita, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do I think that she's inherently racist? No. Do I think that she generalizes a group of people and has prejudices? Yes. Do I think that they're misguided? Yes. Do I think they're ill-gotten? No. Am I making excuses for her behavior? No. I think that she's going to generalize and have her prejudices against whoever because of the experiences that she's had.
Mm-hmm.
That's on her to change her mind. That's not on me to change her mind. Maybe I was trying to get her to see, I don't know, but I was not happy with how she came at my friend Candace. And that was like, all right, enough is enough. Because if that was anyone else, she likes to shit on smaller creators. Let's be fucking real.
Mm.
It had nothing to do with black or white, person of color, non-person of color. It doesn't matter. She likes putting smaller creators in their place. And this is not the first time. When did she do that? A few months back. I think it was late summer she did that. And she had said something that was a generalizing term about white people, and Dee had made a comment, and it was, she went in, and she will always pick on a smaller creator.
Hi,
Always.
Blair.
Hi, Blair.
Wow. I didn't know that either.
She'll look
I
at
had
every
no idea.
comment. She'll look at her subtweets. She'll be looking to see what kind of reaction she'll get. She'll fly under the radar for that. She'll stand up against that. She'll shit on smaller creators for that. Where was she when she wasn't calling out Jared for
Oh
the Rick Lives
man.
Matter cake? Where was that happening?
And
That
I love, and another thing I love about Jeffrey, and I know it's probably not the best thing to love about him, I love how he low key calls people out in his tweets. I do. I
he'll
really do.
subtweet, and I don't like that. If you're gonna tweet at somebody, if you're gonna that's like vague booking. Just say the person, so that way there's none of this guesswork.
But it was
Just call it out.
It was
Just
something
call
to
it out.
it was something to the terms of how a person's narrative
Jackie, I know,
was.
hon.
Yeah. Oh, that ass hat. It's funny how when they support your narrative, but then like something about being in the pockets, which we know
Being
he's
on their payroll.
on their payroll, on their payroll.
Yep.
And
And someone had put under one of her tweets something along the lines of, these beauty influencers their morals should come with barcodes, because obviously they're up for sale. So if you can call out one, you can call out the other, especially for a movement that she's so passionate about. And I don't diminish that. I support the Black Lives Matter movement 100%. But you can't have one without the other. You can't call out one person and saying, you're reading too much into it, sis, and then not call out someone who blatantly just shit on all over a movement that you hold so dear. It's not possible.
And then kind of return it right back on Jeffrey, like saying, "Oh, you guys will go back to supporting somebody, you know, that's a known racist." Like, you know, I mean, that we get it, that
go stand a known racist. He's already explained it, asked and answered, and I'm not sitting here saying that I understand how a woman of color or a person of color feels. I don't. I'm lacking the melanin in that. But guess what? On the flip side of that, we're gonna agree to disagree on certain things. And at that point, you've got to sit there and you can't call out one and not call out the other. You just can't. You can't sit there and call out my friend Candace, who is a way smaller creator, for calling you out for being a douche and not call out your quote unquote boss for completely degrading the very movement that you hold so dear. You can't do it. Not in my book. That to me is hypocritical at the very least.
Yeah, and Blair, I love the causes she stands up for, but as a hypocrite, it makes it hard to focus on the issues she's trying to bring to light. Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
I agree with that.
I don't know if they're friends anymore.
I don't think
Jackie.
so.
Jackie and Thomas. I don't think so. I can't see why they would be, considering he has quite the past himself, you know, but I could be wrong.
Well, he used to talk about her on his channel like that as being friends. But see, again, with Thomas and all his social climbing mistakes, I don't know, you know, at this point, it looks like he's kind of standing on his own, the lone wolf over there, but
that's also his doing. He had the world at his feet and he fucked it up. You know, you either gag the maggot or you fly. And he cannot be anybody's friend because he's not a friend to himself. I think he's very self-sabotaging. I think that he had a good thing going for him for a hot minute, and then he wanted to befriend the same YouTubers that he trashed. It doesn't work that way. You can't sit there and do, you know, the anti-haul or trashing brands and then try to befriend those brand owners that you trash. It doesn't make any sense.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, it's not even a false stigma. Okay, these could be the very interactions that she's had. Okay, are they wrong? Are her misconceptions wrong? Yes, in our opinion. And again, I'm not playing the whole semantics of being PC, not PC, whatever. I'm just being real when I say these could genuinely just be her experiences with, even a certain subset of quote unquote white people, where she's from. They could be not very nice.
Mm-hmm.
But goodbye, bye. But at the end of the day, a spade is still a spade, no matter if you call it a shovel or a spade. And what Jackie pulled with my friend Candace and myself is not okay. You don't shit on smaller creators just because you can. And then not call out Jared Blandino for the cake. Oh, we didn't know the cake was going to be there. You mean the cake that was set not 12 inches from you when you took that picture and posted it to the gram? Give me a break.
Exactly. I don't even, I never really subscribed to her. Maybe I've seen her a few times, and the vibe is kind of like, I thought she's pretty chill. This whole thing, I grew up dealing with this kind of stuff, living in a neighborhood with us being the minority. um, and dealing with that kind of thing. And I've never really looked at a person and said, "Oh, you're this color, so you act that way, or you're that color, you act this way." And we all, we grow up with stigmas, and we grow up with people that misinterpret, how people are supposed to be. And I've always had it thrown at me from when I was very, very young. I've been called racial slurs. I've been, treated badly because of my color, that kind of thing. And I didn't grow up wanting to reciprocate that, like, well, that's all they know how to do, that kind of stigma. Like, that's just, we're people, we all live in the same world. And it's true that they've suffered, and I think we've suffered. And instead of just going back into that and comparing histories and comparing, how whatever it was that caused us to feel this strongly, is it worth it in the end? Because in the end, we're still the human race, regardless of our color, our creed, our sexual
Well,
orientation,
that's
or
the thing
religion,
is
you know?
I am raising my son, and I was raised this way. You, as oh God, I'm going to probably catch shit for it. As Martin Luther King said, judge me on the content of my character, not the color of my skin.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simple. It's a very simple thing. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole.
Yep.
Period. Whether you have 1 million subscribers or 10, or $1 million in the bank or $10 in the bank. If you're white, if you're black, if you're Latina, if you're Latino, it doesn't, Angie, correct me if I'm wrong, or, your experiences with a certain race or a certain type of person, you're not going to paint the entire general population for that 1 or 2 or 10 or 20 run-ins, because inherently that that's not how all people are, or how all white people are. That's just not who I am. I am not an overtly rude person. I actually bend over backwards for people. Believe it or not, I bend over backwards for people to make sure that they're comfortable, that they're well taken care of, that I'm the first one to sit there and say, excuse me. But when she came at me and was like, I'll be your, I'll find you another token black person. Bitch, where? I subscribe to Alyssa Ashley. My friend Jasmine is, it's like, and Jasmine, for those of you who don't know, Gadget Beat is my friend, the same one that Thomas Halbert fucking ripped off. That's why I don't like Thomas. It's not because of what he said. It's not because of who he did what to. It's because what he did to a friend of mine, at the time she was not my friend, but she's my friend now. Anytime Thomas gets brought up, she gets brought up. And she has yet to get an apology from him. Much like Jackie Ina has yet to actually apologize to Petty Page. It is a live stream. That's what it is.
Oh. Do we know you? Does he know you?
I don't know. I have no idea. Hi. Anyway. Weird. Don't recognize the screen name. But if you sit down and you think about it, if I like your content, I like your content. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Latina, Latino, it doesn't matter to me. But the minute you throw race into the mix, and I'm going to be honest, as of late, I felt very uncomfortable watching a Jackie Ina video because there was low-key, racial undertones to it. And I'm sorry, it's makeup. I want to escape what is the reality of this country. Mm-hmm. What is the reality of the times? On YouTube, by watching makeup videos, I don't want to sit here and be made to feel bad for or bad about because I had no choice in the color of my skin.
Tanya.
Oh, well, that's great.
You're her neighbor? Yeah. What does that mean?
He's got a Celtics and a Bulls picture. Let's see. I don't know who you are. You're blue, so how about your content? Well, if it's content that I'm interested in, do it up, boo. Do it up, blue. Huh. I'll move. Yeah. Huh. What do you mean? You're my neighbor. Okay. Hi. There's a moose. Hi, moose.
Yeah. Anyway, what you were saying about she makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah, she does. I mean, there have been times in the last few videos that she's done that it's made me uncomfortable because I'm like, okay, should I even... It makes you feel like when you walk into a room and it's like you get that vibe of, okay, I walked in on something, I shouldn't be here right now. Mm-hmm. Uncomfortable. So you almost want to leave. But you can't, so you leave, but it's Xing out of a video that you may want to watch because, ow, my cat just attacked my head. Ow.
And that's sad because, I mean, obviously she's popular to a wide variety of people. Yeah, how about not, sir?
No, thank you. I'm single by choice. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to do this for one. And then if it gets any further, we're going to go the other way around. What'd you do that
for?
Dawn. What'd you do that for?
Yeah, exactly. But you shouldn't be made to be felt uncomfortable watching a video.
No.
And for the simple fact of me saying to her, I sent people to you because especially for complexion things. I wouldn't know how to help someone figure out their undertone if they're darker complected than me. I wouldn't know how to do that
Mm-hmm.
because they've got neutral, they've got red, they've got yellow, they've got, and it's not like a pink undertone like it is for us white folk. It's straight up red for some. Some have a really olive complexion undertone. Some have, almost like a blue undertone. And it's like, I wouldn't know how to do that. So I would refer them to, Alyssa, Ashley, Jackie, Ina for that reason. So that way they weren't walking around looking ashy. Those are the kinds of girls and women that I was coming across. I would be more than happy to show you how to do your makeup. I wouldn't know how to get you to your complexion where you wouldn't look ashy.
Well, she should, Blair. She should give a shit that there are, if you set that kind of tone, and I'm not, and again, I don't want to overstate this, but as far as like, amounts of people watching you, how do you not know that there are more white people watching you than your color? You don't know that. Um, and to set that precedent to make people feel like, listen, this is a beauty community. It's inclusive, or it should be. And that's what all these YouTubers talk about is like, oh, they're against brands that don't have inclusivity. You should have every shade and blah, blah, blah. Well, that goes for the community itself. And 9 times out of 10, there's a lot of, we like a lot of choices. We like to watch different colors of women and different backgrounds of women and different, all types of women, Asian women, Middle Eastern women, all sorts of women, because it's all about beauty and the way that they look at it. And in my terminology, when I think about that, I want to think like, I want to relate to any kind of woman, not just one color, not just who I match. I want to see their perspective on what they think about Jaclyn Hill's palette. I want to know what they think about, this shade of lipstick. I want to know what it's like for them, because it's interesting to me. It's not just about like choosing what you're comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? If you're talking about inclusivity, you're talking about understanding it from all aspects instead of just one. So that to me is kind of a biased way of looking at it, like saying like, oh, well, y'all just go back to what you know because you don't understand the struggle. It's like, come on, man. It was about somebody who didn't get out of your way. Why does it have to be about a color? You know?
You could have just said, and I hate to be even like this, these bitches at such and such store are assholes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to say excuse me. If she would have just left it as, man, these bitches here don't know how to say excuse me, or these asshats, or these people don't know how to say excuse me.
Mm-hmm. If you take the example of what Laura Lee did when it came down to like her inclusion with these other 4 people, these other 3 people, and then all of a sudden she's got a tweet up there talking about how black people, it'd be easier for them to run from the cops if they pull their pants up. Now, I'm sorry, okay? To me, everybody was outraged by that, okay? Because that was something point blank so ignorant and so stupid to say and so stigmatic, okay, that anyone would stick up for that. Any color would say how stupid that is. You know what I'm saying?
And people did.
That's what I mean. So the fact that she would say that kind of a thing on the heels of um that kind of a, not just her, Gabriel, Nikita, Manny, that kind of thing that has set the precedent for this beauty community. It's setting a tone, it's changing things, it's making people think like, what am I
Well,
watching? Who
here's
am
the
I
thing.
watching?
The line that Jackie expanded upon was Born This Way Foundation, correct?
Yeah.
Born This Way.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, she went deep, dark, deep, and she also helped with lighter shades.
Mm-hmm.
lighter shades than what they already had. So for someone who's talking about and preaching about inclusivity in a community, and, you know, I've been saying this for years, you know, these beauty companies, these cosmetic companies are blowing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got places like Beauty Bakery and Black Opal for drugstore and things of that nature that they're killing it because they're catering to a formerly disenfranchised group of people
Mm-hmm.
because of whatever reason that these fat cats in suits thought was a good idea. So now you've got CoverGirl, who had Queen Latifah as their, you know, spokesperson for how many years, and she still may even still be for their True Match and something else too. And they had one of the most extensive color ranges to ever hit the market 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't use their makeup. Their makeup makes me break out.
I can't
but
either.
They just went vegan or cruelty free. They just went cruelty free.
I know.
But they've been killing it in the inclusivity game, except in Healthy Elixir.
Mm-hmm.
That was bullshit. But it all boils down to the same. It's makeup. Everyone should be able to partake in it if they want to. Is there ever going to be a company who has every single shade in the rainbow for people? No. But as long as you get close, that's all these people are asking for. That's all we've all ever asked for, except for what was it? Was it Beauty Blender that came out with freaking 18 shades of beige?
Was it Beauty Blender?
Was it Beauty Blender? I want to say it was Beauty Blender. Was it Beauty Blender?
No, Tarte.
No. It wasn't Tarte.
Well, Tarte was the one.
No, there was another one. There was another one that's a Latina-owned brand, and I want to say it's Beauty Blender.
Yeah.
I want to say it's Beauty Blender that came out, and there was literally, you could not tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
It was because Jeffree Star did a swatch test before he left on some trip.
Yeah. Blair says it was Beauty Blender.
Where you couldn't visually tell the difference. And she was a woman of color.
Mm-hmm.
She was trying to cater towards Latinas who had a hard time with their undertone matching. It wasn't about the main base, it was the undertone. And I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But you had Tarte, which was an epic sale, not to mention the foundation was shit.
Yeah.
They blew that. They could have hit that out of the park because of the way Shape Tape concealer was. But the owner of Beauty Blender, said that she was a Latina who wanted to try to get as many undertones and mixes of undertones as she possibly could for the Latin community. That's what she said. People were riding her ass about not going to the lightest range, not going to the darkest range, even 4 shades either way. If you're going to have, I want to say it was like 18 shades of beige where you could not visually tell the difference, not even in a swatch, then there's a problem there. And she got roasted for it. But Too Faced, who has not released a new foundation, who has not changed anything, went with, and got with Jackie Aina because she's been talking because of the controversy with Tarte Shape Tape, and she kind of became the spokesperson for inclusivity in the beauty community. Then why is she not practicing what she preaches? That's all I was saying.
Well,
and that's what I'll continue to say.
I don't know. To me, I think again, unfortunately, that the precedent was set by Tarte with their lack of shade ranges. But to me, there's so many others that don't get called out, like It Cosmetics, for an example. I hate with a passion It Cosmetics, the CC cream, whatever it is. Everybody
Oh my God, I
raves.
love it. I won't use it. Not until she expands the shade range.
She's got
Won't use it.
four shades. I think it is
No,
four.
five, no, six now. She
Okay.
went. She has a medium dark and a deep dark or something like that, or deep. I can't remember. It goes light, fair, medium tan, dark, and now there's another two on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the CC cream. I love the CC cream. I thought that shit was the bomb. But then when I saw that there was only 4 shades, I put it back.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if I like it, I might run into a client or someone's makeup that I'm doing that would love it, that their skin would benefit from it, and they can't use it at
Right.
all.
Right.
They can't even use it as a fucking BB cream.
Mm-hmm.
With more shear it out. There's no way to do it. And I stopped using it. Yeah, there's only, let's go and look. Let's see. Next. CC cream shades. All right. All right. Oh, they actually expanded it. Hold on. So, fair. Okay, so they have fair, light medium, medium tan, rich honey, and deep. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait a minute. I lied. So brand new shades. It goes fair, light, medium, neutral medium, medium tan, neutral tan, tan, rich honey, and deep. So 3, 6, 9, 12. But there's only 6, or there's only 3 in the deep, what I would call in the deep range, but 6 in the medium area, and then 3 in the fair category.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 mediums for us normal, like, not normal. I'm reading something else and I read that. Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to sound like an asshole. 6 for the vanilla folk. And if you want to include fair in that, there's 9 to their 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's not balanced. If you're talking inclusivity, it has to be balanced. And I understand. They had a lot of these shades beforehand. And yes, I know it was an asshole comment.
I love Blair. Even Shop Miss A has a better shade range.
Shop Miss A does have better shape range, at least. So if you think about it, when I say 6, I meant, if you think about it, there's only 3 shades.
Mm-hmm.
There's light, medium, and dark. In the medium category, there's 6 different shades for the CC cream. In the light category, there's 3, and in the dark category, there's 3.
Mm-hmm.
So the 2 other ends of the spectrum are only covered by 3 shades.
Well, that would make too much sense, AJ, about people being in the makeup industry. That means they would actually have accurate information instead of just, just what they extend as popular information.
Right. There's a difference between having the it product for right now
Mm-hmm.
and having the correct information so that way you will have the most knowledge for your clients, for your friends, for whoever you're doing makeup on. And it blows me away that someone who helped expand a shade range called Born This Way is going out of their way to make people that are not of her same race feel uncomfortable about being born the way they were born.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand the contradiction. 3 shades, you can make a lot of shades out of that. You're absolutely right. And I agree with you. But when you go from, you can do 3 shades and you can make a lot out of that. So why wouldn't they keep the 3, even go up 1 shade on the medium, and then instead of another 2 shades in the medium, go 1 more shade in the dark and 1 more shade in the light, so it's balanced. Right, because your undertones are never going to be quite on the line of neutral or warm or cool.
Right,
or olive.
because there are shades in certain companies that will be either lighter or darker depending on their formula, because there'll be like, ivory shades that look beige, and then there'll be ivory shades that look almost white sometimes,
Right.
depending. Because I have light medium yellow undertones. So for me, and I made the mistake years ago going into, because it's stupid, going into like, fair and light. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, this is like making me look ghostly. Like, that's why I learned to kind of go into the more medium shades with the yellow undertones, and it works out better. And
Yeah, as long as the undertones match, you can pretty
right,
much make anything
right.
within your wheelhouse of skin tone work,
Mm-hmm.
because you're not going to be completely absolved of any color, and you're going to be able to blend down your neck easier.
And I think,
It,
not weather, but like seasonal, like when your skin gets darker in the summer, when you get, certain things like that. Um, well, yeah, because those are all undertones. Those are all what builds up the shade. It's not just a series of just adding a lighter or darker foundation to like, that kind of thing. But that's what companies will put out there for the average consumer that doesn't understand that. They're going to think, well, that's not enough colors that I can work with. But if you're going up, like this information, it's like if you learn about the in between and how color wheels work and how tones are working and shades are working, then it kind of makes more sense. And I don't know, for me, I never thought of it about like inclusivity. Oh, they're not making enough tones for, I always thought it was like, okay, a general thing where it was like light to dark, and some companies will make it specifically for darker skin, and some companies don't, and some companies, kind of go from the vegan aspect or the non-vegan aspect, and they don't add this kind of chemical, that kind of chemical that can change the pH in a foundation. So I always kind of looked at it like it's a we have cosmetics is a very wide business,
and it also depends on a person's pH, whether or not a
right.
foundation is going to oxidize on them.
Yeah, because
So,
one day it'll look good and the next day it'll look like complete garbage.
right. So that's why even myself, who is as, white as white can be, pasty ass, I
Mm-hmm.
have to mix my foundations, because I'm more of what they consider true neutral with cool undertones if it comes down to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because my veins are neither blue nor green.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in some lights and in some days, my veins look purple. So if I stick with a neutral undertone, I can usually hit my wheelhouse. And then if I'm seeing a little bit more red that day, I can add a little bit more of a cool undertone. If I'm seeing a little bit more yellow or whatever undertone, I can add a little bit more of a warmer undertone foundation and mix it that way. I've tried the mix-ins of the straight colors, and I always add too much, and it's like, oh God, I gotta start over, because I don't know how to do the proper. What do I think oxidation is? It's a chemical reaction.
Yeah.
Like when rust oxidizes on a car. It's a chemical reaction between water, air, and most of the time salt. Like you'll see oxidization on someone's fenders that lives in New England and won't have it in a car that's out of, Nebraska, or not even Nebraska, California, any place that doesn't use salt. It's a chemical reaction.
You know what I think would be interesting, and I'm surprised it hasn't been marketed yet, maybe because it would be so just like radical, is to actually make those four shades into foundations, like blue, straight up green, straight up red, straight up yellow, and have them as mixers instead of.
They do. LA, I think is it LA Girl that has them? I know there is a company that has, maybe it's an Etsy. I was watching it on That Taylor. There's companies
Oh, I
that do
love her.
have red, blue, yellow, white,
Hmm.
and a neutral brown to darken or lighten a foundation. And I know, God dang it, what's the name of, is it, no, it's not RCMA. I know Krylon has mixers.
Hmm.
Interesting. Changing skincare can help oxidization not happen because of all the oil in the skin that does that, correct? Because you
Oh,
can have dehydrated skin or you can have dry skin. Dehydrated skin, RCMA, thank you. I know Krylon has a couple too.
oh, obsessive
Not as
compulsive
many.
does too. Obsessive compulsive. I didn't know that.
OCC. God, that's a name I haven't heard in
I
years.
know in years.
The lip tars were awesome.
Hmm.
Sorry. My cat is playing with my hair clippy. Boop. I booped your nose. I booped your nose with it. Mama, 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 mama. He has turned into quite the moose, by the way. He's a big boy. That's a mine. You can't have that. That's a mine. That's mine. And the cat is best friends with the dog.
I thought it was always in a tube, the lip tar.
I thought the lip tar came in like a regular liquid lipstick component.
Mm-mm. It used to be in a little squeezy tube. Yeah, I know. I had that kit at one time. It was like small little tiny colors, and then like there's a black in there too. And I don't know, lip tars on me don't work. They're so like they suck all the moisture right out of my lips. Another ice. You're welcome.
You're eating. Oh, ice cream sounds so
Don't be
good. But if I
blaming
eat,
don't be blaming me for your gluttonous self there, AJ.
gluttony is great. This time of year, it doesn't matter. Eat
Yeah,
all the ice cream you want. We have baggy sweaters for that.
we have a sweater for that.
We've got a sweater and a sweatshirt for that.
Yeah,
Hashtag red hoodie.
that should be a slogan. We have a sweater for that. You
You
heard
ate
it
too
here.
much ice cream
Wait,
the night before?
you heard it here first. You heard it here first.
We have a sweater for that. You heard it here first. I'm a queen douchebag. Whoopsie poopsie. Did I say that? I didn't say that.
Okay, let's switch from foundations to eyeshadows and how
Oh,
controversial
God.
they've been this year.
Oh, my God. Let's. I think so many people have figured out that talc is such a shit ingredient
Well, yeah.
that so many more people in these drugstore options have ratcheted up their game,
Hmm.
but they're now becoming so the price tag is becoming so much. It's like, okay, are you a drugstore or are you a low end, high end product?
Mm-hmm.
No, I will stick with, if I'm going to pay that kind of money, I want the name tag to go with it. And I kind of like what Taylor was at. It was like, I wish sometimes with certain eyeshadows, like the Natasha Denona palettes and stuff like that, you just take them in black packaging, you don't know who makes it, and you test it, and you see if it's what you want. Not based off of the name, but just off of what you want. And I wish I would have thought about that with a couple of purchases that, thank God, I was able to return. I bought them because they were one of those cult, you know, everybody's got to have it, eyeshadow palettes. And it was like, at first I was like, I'll take my Kat Von D over anything. And then it was like, okay, well, Morphe, you know, this Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette's pretty good. And then I tried that. And then I got my hands on the ABH Modern Renaissance palette. The Blood Sugar palette, the ABH Modern Renaissance, and my Jaclyn Hill palette are my like 3 go-to palettes. I have not touched my Kat Von D palettes in almost a year.
I haven't touched my Kat Von D palette probably since I got it, and that was well over a year ago. The metal mats, whichever one that is.
Oh, the long one. I like that palette. I like the crushed metal shadows in it. And I do know talc has been around for years. But it also depends upon where in the ingredients list it falls on how chalky and powdery and how much kick-up you're going to get. And there are some palettes I'm willing to deal with it. Like some of the ABH, even in the Modern Renaissance palette, there's kick-up. I can deal with that because those eyeshadows blend out like nothing.
I've come to a very different place since my channel began, because it was all about drugstore and, you know, even the cheaper versions of things, and BH Cosmetics and Shop Miss A, and all that's great. And this year I was like, what happened to you? You went from, you know, just doing drugstore to, all right, ColourPop, now Morphe, and now I'm going into higher end. I'm just like, now it's more about quality than quantity.
Over quantity, yeah.
Yeah, and it's more about, you know, I still love the same companies, but some things now I'm like, do I need that? Because I honestly have that in, you know, 17 different other palettes. And, you know, I have the same opinion. I do want the blood sugar. I have androgyny. I love it. I don't
A friend of mine is sending me Beauty Killer because she hasn't been able to get her hands on the blood sugar palette. Every time she gets the money, it's sold out.
Nuts.
So she wants me to do a compare and contrast because Beauty Killer palette was his first palette.
Right.
Or was it Beauty Killer was his first palette, or was it Androgyny?
No, Beauty Killer was first, Androgyny came after.
To see how drastically different the formulas are. And see if even the, you know, those 2 other palettes before he redid his formula are still good.
AJ,
you know, go ahead.
I think it's like when the FDA either tells you like 1 year, like you should eat more eggs because eggs are good for you, it's got protein, and then the next year somebody will say, oh no, eggs causes, you know, diabetes,
high cholesterol.
But I'm saying everything, again, maybe there are certain things that they have scientifically proven. I don't know, because I heard Tati say the same thing about talc, and I know talc is in 98.9% of my palettes, and I don't.
It all depends on where it's from. It's milled, though.
Oh yeah, milled in Italy or milled in China. Right.
And
right.
Not for nothing, I would much rather pay for ingredients milled in more humane working conditions than what they do to these poor people in China. Right, Micah is a beast as well. I understand that. I listen, AJ, you're not going to get an argument from me.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. I will still use my Wet n Wild highlighters that probably have the bad mica in it, and bad talc, and whatever else. Because if it's good, it's good. But I just think people are being more conscientious of where things are coming from.
Ground up those grits, girl. Be using that next.
Rock
I don't
powder all
know.
over the face
I
for that glow up.
mean,
I know, right?
I'm not going to turn into Jen Loves Reviews and go into, ingredients, what things are made of, or proclamations on certain popular things. I know that I tried certain things that people had been discussing this year that were like, oh, no, it's so great. Or no, no, it's so crappy. And I agreed with some of it, and some of it I didn't.
Right.
Oh, God, you got me in trouble. um, I mean, there are things that people have sworn against. Oh no, it's the worst thing. And I have it and I go, what's the problem? I don't see
Okay,
the
but here's the
problem.
thing though. There was a thing back in vaudeville days in the 30s, 40s, and even into the 50s and 60s.
Be
It was
right
called
back.
clown lung. It was called clown lung. And it was from inhaling all of these talc-based powders. A YouTuber could very easily get a scare going by saying, oh my God, when you bake, you're inhaling all this powder and you can get sick. That's not the case. You have to be inhaling copious amounts of this powder every day. I'd be more concerned about the drag queens getting clown lung than your everyday makeup user. Right. If I like a brush, I like a brush. I like being conscientious enough to know what I'm putting on my body and in my body. For the most part, there are things that I know that are bad for me. Hello, I smoke. So I can't say much, but I am trying to quit. I drink soda, but I'm trying to stop that by drinking more water. Just like being more conscientious of how things are sourced, where they're sourced from, how if they treat on if they test on animals. The vegan thing, I could leave or take. No, I'm having a Cheez-It, sorry. But if it's important enough to me to look into it, then it's important enough to me to make the conscientious decision to try to change where I'm buying from, what I'm buying. I know Wet n Wild does not have the best ingredients. That's why I take great care in the loose highlighter that I have. I don't need to be breathing that shit in. Just like I don't need to be breathing in Choly Airspun or Laura Mercier or, heart setting powder. It doesn't matter. You really should make the conscientious effort to not inhale when you've got loose dust flying everywhere. Just like I think there's a way. I will rock glow my face all day, every day. All day, every day. I'm just more conscientious about when I'm breathing in, when I'm putting powder on my face. Because there's a lot of, because it's also a carcinogen in women, talc. It caused a lot of ovarian cancer and ovarian cysts because it's a carcinogen. Carcinogen, excuse me. But I love my beauty products. The only thing I wish is that Kat Von D hadn't stuck a freaking split in her mouth about the non-vax thing. You have way too much faith in the human race to not breathe in powder. I was setting this girl's face for prom, and she was really oily, so I was having to bake. No joke. No joke. This girl, when I was baking her face, pounding on that powder, sitting there, and I would tell her to hold her breath, and she would still be sitting there talking and breathing, and I'm not breathing like, oh my God, you're breathing on me, but taking these huge breaths and talking, and I'm like, you need to stop. I don't want you breathing this in. And she's like, well, I don't understand why. And when she had said that, I was pressing it into one side of her, on the side of her nose, and she caught a huge, huge mouthful of it. I said, that's why. Now your eyes are going to water. Now your nose is going to water. And you're going to try to not cough until you puke.
We're puking now?
No. With setting powders.
Oh, yeah.
With clown lung. There are so many people who don't know about clown lung. And again, I'd be more worried about drag queens getting it than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I was telling everybody that this girl I was doing prom makeup for last year, she was really oily, like really oily in her T-zone. So I was baking her T-zone, and I told her to hold her breath while I was doing it so she wouldn't inhale a copious amount of powder. And as soon as I was, getting ready to hit the puff on her, like pressing up puff on her face, she took in this huge breath and caught a huge plume of freaking powder in her mouth.
Oh my God.
Because I told her to stop talking. I would lift my hand away and put my hand away from her face when she was talking.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you need to stop. I need to do this. Stop talking for a second. It'll only take me a couple of seconds to do. Nope.
And I have a question for you and AJ. In your opinion, if you're not an oily person, if you don't have excessive oil on your skin, is baking really a necessity?
No. It can actually make you look crepey and old and dry out your skin.
Oh my God. Like thank you, AJ. I don't understand it either. Like I've tried it, especially under the eyes, and I understand setting concealer, but I don't understand like it's sitting on your skin. Like what is the purpose of it? If it's not absorbing extra oil, if you're oily, which I understand and get, but if you're normal, you're like me, because I'm normal to combination sometimes, but I don't get that whole step. Like what is it for?
Like, I don't do it underneath the eyes. I think it's really bad underneath the eyes because you don't have a lot of oil glands underneath there.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some people who have oily under eyes.
Right.
Like, I have oily eyelids, but my eyelids or my under eyes are really dry.
No, I get that. I just don't understand the whole concept of it. Like, oh, you're supposed to like, chisel it all out to make it look like you're more contoured. And to me, it just looks like it just leaves a big white patch.
I mean, I can understand for it to clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're a messy applier like I am, and people want more, I can see it cleaning up, but I can't see an overtly purpose. Like the only reason why I did her T-zone is because she showed me her prom pictures from the year before where the makeup artist didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And she melted off her makeup. She took a picture an hour. She had an hour before and an hour after.
Mm-hmm.
And the makeup from the middle of her face was completely gone.
Yeah.
Completely gone. Just melted away. And I said, did she set it at all? And I just did what she wanted me to do. She's like, no, I really want you just to bake my T-zone. And I said, okay. I said, just setting it will be fine, but if that's what you want, that's what you want. And I don't need to say where she got her makeup done. Mac.
Oh boy.
Mac. See, I always thought that you had to have some form of cosmetology license in order to apply makeup or do hair or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
When you're working at a cosmetics counter, you're working underneath someone's cosmetic license. It doesn't even have to be someone in store. That's why I would never. Right. I mean, I will do what anybody asks me to do to their face. If they want me to bake their face, I'll bake their face. If they want me to lightly set it, I'll lightly set it. It all depends on, that person. If they think if it has a placebo effect on them and they think their makeup lasts longer, then hey, more power to them.
Just like you don't.
Right.
Oh wow, I didn't know that, Angie.
Well, I know in Texas it's an esthetician program that you have to go through. Same thing in Massachusetts. You had to go to an esthetician program. And honestly, the only thing I'd be interested in other than makeup is extractions.
Ew.
That's it. No way. It's so awesome. Getting all that gunk out.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Decapping someone's skin so their skin can actually feel better. I hate the word. I hate when people sit there and say, when your pores are open and you got to make sure you close your pores. There aren't any doors on your pores. They don't open and close. I educate my clients before applying. I show half face with and half face without. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought of doing it that way.
So basically, those pore minimizer things are just not necessary.
No, you can minimize the appearance of your pores, but your pores are your pores.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Jesus, Mary and Joseph, 1,200 hours. That's crazy. That is so nuts. But I use a little bit of a pore filling primer, right on the sides of my nose and right above my eyebrows, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit, and I actually set that.
Another gimmick. Okay. I don't really use them. I barely use primers. I use most of the time. I mean, now I've tried the Tatcha, which I have to say is really good. I hate to say that, but it is.
Oh, the silk canvas.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try that.
But
I don't know if I can rationalize that price on a primer.
I got the sample size. I didn't. But I have one from, again, giving credit to Blair, from Shop Miss A, and it's fucking just as good as any other primer I've ever used.
See, I like the primerizer, the primer water that they have from Smashbox. I like that.
Oh, everybody talks about those.
I love that. But, right. Still, at some point, you use liquid Band-Aid. I've done that on one of those big cyst ones that finally get ahead and you pop it. Boop, put a little bit of liquid Band-Aid on there. Boom, you're ready to go. And none of that shit gets into that pore. That's already inflamed.
I like using the little acne dots that you just put on.
See, those always showed through my makeup, so I stopped using them.
I mean, you're supposed to take them off. I mean, you wear them overnight, I think. And
Well, no, they have some that are supposed to go underneath makeup that you can wear during the day.
mm.
And those always show through my makeup. So I heard about that from someone who used to work at this makeup what's the name of the makeup company? I can't think of it now, but old school hat with the liquid Band-Aid. I have got to get my sheets out of the damn dryer. God dang it.
Wow, I didn't even know that we went to the 3 hour mark. I was like,
oh, I didn't even either, because we were talking about makeup and it's so much fun.
I know. So I think I'm gonna give it another 15 minutes and then I'm gonna sign it off.
Hey, can't blame me there. It'll be 2:00 in the morning your time.
And this is what? This is normal for me. I'm up anyway.
You
know,
not healthy for you to be up, but you know.
The consummate insomniac, that's me. Whether I want to or not. That's a set secret. What was the thing about what was the men's product people were putting on their face like not that long
Nivea's
ago?
men's aftershave balm.
Yeah, like what?
It worked.
Did it?
It left your face slightly sticky so the foundation could stick to it.
See, that's what I miss in makeup and like the beauty community is like those hacks. I mean, not like what people come up with now, but like the kind of stuff that people would use in lieu of buying the $80 primer or the $50.
Right, and that was the thing. And you know who brought out that hack? Nikki Tutorials. And she doesn't even use it anymore. There's one thing I cannot. I don't care who listens to this after this. Do not use Monistat on your face.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Like why?
Do not use the anti-chafing cream on your face. Please do not use the anti-chafing cream on your face. Oh my gosh!
Did somebody actually do that?
Quite a few people did that because Tati recommended it.
Oh God, Tati! Why, Tati? Why?
Oh no! Hold on.
What? What's the matter?
My computer went to sleep.
Oops. Yeah, holy cow, y'all still here?
You're going to bed, Michael. You're a wimp. You're a wimp. You're a wimp.
You can't hang.
You can't hang because, like, I don't know. What are you talking about? I don't understand.
Huh? What?
Sure. Oh, yeah, I'll have to look that up.
Okay.
I'm an asshole. 1,000 points if you know where that's from.
Oh, come on. I know that one.
Let's see if the rest of them do, though.
Yeah.
Oh, he is a limp dick. There you go.
He
is a limp dick.
I work, I think.
You think? How in the... Wow. See, none of these people want 1,000 points. Wouldn't it be beneficial to you to, I don't know, have called before this place opened or closed or whatever to find out what time you were working tomorrow? You're a limp dick, Mike. We all know it. It's okay. You and Bergen are like the only two dudes around, so you must feel like Mac Daddies when you're in a room full of chicks.
I have yet to understand, and I don't think anyone's ever answered me, like Mike or when Angel was around. Is he even still around anymore?
Who?
Angel. Like Mike knows who I'm talking about. But what possessed them to be with a bunch of catty gossiping women. Like, what was the outside of the fact that they're hot? What is the like the why do you and oh I enjoy being the
I
male
don't know.
daddy. I don't know. Like it's the weirdest dichotomy to me.
That's funny.
You
It
must.
is, but it is funny if you think about it, because a guy who immerses himself with a bunch of women, befriends a bunch of women, will more likely be able to show to possible partners that they're understanding,
Oh,
and
I
they'll
can.
have a knowledge of
Uh-huh.
certain things.
I
So they're
wonder if
using
that
it.
works. I wonder if that works though.
I don't know, Mike, does that work?
Oh, okay, Mike. See, he knows who I'm talking about.
I don't know who Angel is.
Oh, I forgot he used to be on Scope with us all the time. He's from the Bronx too, so that's like my former.
Oh, that
Mm-hmm.
guy. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Okay.
Like we used to talk wrestling all the time. Prince, thank you, thank you. Like such cool as anything. That's how I first met Mike when I knew
Oh,
Angel.
Angie spoke to him on Snapchat.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, he's on Snapchat. Well, that's good.
He did. Wanted to meet me. I don't know why, but yeah, he did.
It's because you're the bomb. Duh.
Nah, it's because we had wrestling in common and we came from the Bronx.
Well, that's just a reason. I mean, at least that banana helped. Um,
Thank you, Angie.
that's just a reason to, you know,
An
get
excuse?
their
Is that
foot
what
in the
you're trying to
door.
say? Wow.
No, a reason to get their foot in the door. You know what I mean?
Oh, I didn't know that, Mike. Thanks for that info. Yep. So I know it's always a plus.
See, I stopped following wrestling years ago. My dad still watches it.
Yeah,
So every once in
see.
a while, I'll watch, and I'm like, I'm still lost. But I'm sure if I spent 10 minutes to sit down and watch, I would get all of the storylines within 10 minutes.
I stopped
Plus, I
watching.
watched Total Divas.
Oh, no,
So,
no, no. You just lost me.
no, I said I watched Total Divas until after
Hmm.
what they did to Eva Marie. And then I was like, nope,
Oh,
bye.
okay. All right. That's going back a few years. That I understand. Yeah, you can't even deal with that with the belt. I can't. Um, I
No, they
mean,
fucking fired her because she went to treatment.
yeah, there's a lot of just. Of course you do, Mike. No, AJ, I could not.
You're like Shannon like that. You guys are completely oblivious.
No, not really. Usually I pick up on that kind of stuff. I figured he just liked a lot of everybody. I thought it was Angie actually he liked.
He can like more than one person.
Oh, that's true. Sure.
But again, you spoke wrestling, so you win.
Oh. And now I barely pay attention to it because I just, so many of the wrestlers I like either get injured or they leave, or the
The only one that I
storylines.
still know that's still around is John Cena.
And he's barely around.
Right. He's kind of going by way of like all the good wrestlers, like Stone Cold, and that was my gem, was Stone Cold. I was around when John Cena first started.
Right.
Gotta remember, I grew up 20 minutes away from the school that he went to.
That's right. That's right. Because where he's from, Jesus, in Mass. Where the hell is it? Yeah, he'll show
Oh
up
no.
for Mania. I'm sure he will. Yes, Angie. Angie, you're my Latina version, except much prettier.
Okay, John Cena wiki. It's just easier to go there because it'll say. Let's see. Okay, I don't need to know his West Newbury.
Oh, okay. Stop it.
Well, and then he went to Cushing, which was a private school.
Mm-hmm.
It was a boarding school. And
Right.
I went, now you got to remember, we're close in age. So
Mm-hmm.
Lord knows how many parties I went to when he was there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I would have been able to contain myself because he's.
He wouldn't
Please.
have been the John Cena.
It's okay. Thank you, AJ, because that's who I named my daughter after.
It's true, though. You really do.
Well, because I loved her. I mean, and like when I mean loved her, I don't mean like standing her or like crush on her. It was like I watch her and her emotions would like just come to me, and I'd like she'd cry, I'd cry. I'm like, okay.
I first fell in love with Julia Roberts and Steel Magnolias, and that was it. That was the end
Yeah.
of it for me. A
Well,
lot of people said Mystic Pizza. It was
mm-hmm.
more so Steel Magnolias for me,
Oh my God,
especially when,
never,
oh, excuse me. Oh, never.
never,
You do not look like
never.
Casey Anthony.
Do
No,
not,
not even
do,
close.
do not look like a baby murderer. No way. Mm-mm.
If you could hear this cat purring right now, and I was not even petting him, huh, you look at my moose. Huh. And and he'll kind of respond to Garfield, but I'll say, "Hey, moose," and he'll come running. Huh. Like a moosey moose. Oh, okay, of course you would have to
Aw,
sit.
thank you, AJ. Gonna make me cry, man. She does.
Aww.
She does. She does bring joy. Plus, I always identified like her characters. I'm like, that would so be me.
Stepmom, one of the best movies was ever in.
With Susan Sarandon, yeah.
Susan Sarandon.
For
She was
me,
so good in that.
the connection I made with her, Flatliners.
Flatliners was good.
As much as I love and Sleeping with the Enemy because she was just so freaking good.
I loved her, and this is going to sound so dumb, in Hook.
No, why was that dumb? She played Tinkerbell.
I mean, she was one of the ones that was like one of the most emotionally distraught over Robin Williams
Oh my
passing, next
God,
to Billy Crystal.
somebody gave you a freaking magazine for you to sign as Casey Anthony. I would fucking like, ugh.
I would have punched him in the face. Oh, Aaron Brockovich was
Ah,
so
no, they're
good.
great. That's a great one. That is a great one. That's fucked up. Imagine somebody doing that. I'd be like,
I would have punched him in the throat.
mm-hmm. No, I would have
I would
taken
have
some.
punched him in the throat.
I would have taken some duct tape and put it over his mouth. There, is that Casey Anthony enough for you? Get to step.
Oh, Pretty Woman. Now, see,
Mm-hmm. That's my least favorite. That's my least favorite of hers.
what? We can't be friends.
Because no, I'm not saying it's not one of my. It's one of my, like, if you had to ask me from a perspective of like her entire catalog of like when she first started, for me, because I mean I love her, I love her, I love her. That's my least. Maybe because I'm not a Richard Gere fan. I don't know, but like she's amazing. She's gorgeous in that movie. She's funny and everything. But it's like, eh. Oh, that's what they all say. And a pain in the ass to work with. Well,
Who is a pain in the ass to work with?
Julia Roberts.
I've heard that,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately.
Oh yeah. It's, I guess, to be expected. The bigger the actor.
Bigger the ego.
Although I did have the wonderful privilege of standing next to for about 30 seconds and shaking his hand, Kiefer Sutherland, and I probably almost
Shut up,
died.
really.
1,000 deaths. I will show you the picture tomorrow. When we went in to take the photo with him, because it was him and Jason Patrick, I kept
Holy
grabbing
shit.
I kept grabbing Joe. I'm going, I'm gonna die. I don't know what to say. And I walked up to him and I know words came out of my mouth. I can't tell you what I said. And he puts his hand down and he's like, "Hi, I'm Kiefer." And I'm like, "Oh my
I would have died.
God." I died.
I would have died. I
My
would have
mother
died.
my mother brought that up the other night. She's like, "I saw that picture on Facebook." She goes, "You must have been dying." I'm like, "Mom, you have no idea. No idea." Yes,
Oh,
that's
God,
that's
yeah.
my jam, AJ. That's my jam.
He's Canadian. So
Mm-hmm.
that must mean you love Justin Bieber then too, because he's Canadian. I'll take Celine. You can take Bieber back. How's that?
Oh no. And that chick from Alanis Morissette. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take Alanis if
I
they
love
take back
Alanis.
Bieber,
I love Alanis.
but they have to take back Bieber,
Mm-hmm. For good.
where he'll never be heard from ever again.
Hell no, he says.
Oh, what the fuck? God dang it! I thought we were gonna be able to get rid of Bieber. Well, shit. There goes that plan.
Oh, you do, AJ? I'm so jealous. You go to that boardwalk. Oh, I'm so jealous.
You guys are crazy. Well, there was one time I met Britney Spears through there.
Really?
Mhm.
How did that happen?
And I was waiting for the train, and this is when I was going to school in Boston, and she was out walking around, and she was clicking for 7-Eleven. It was
Mm-hmm.
literally right across the street. She was sweet as pie, but dumb as a brick.
Why am I not surprised?
But she was like, I didn't fangirl over her. I didn't, do any of
Mm-hmm.
that. I didn't like trip over myself. It was just right over there. She goes, I just really want this and this. And I'm like, okay, why don't you just go and send it? She goes, because I want to do it myself.
Hmm.
And this is like early 2000s. So this is like Britney Spears,
Mm-hmm.
like top of the game, Britney Spears. I'm like,
Yeah, right around
inside,
her prime. Mm-hmm.
yeah, inside, I'm dying. I'm like, oh my God, Britney Spears is talking to me. Oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to die. And she's like, and we just got to talking. And she was, like I said, sweet as pie, but she's an airhead. I said, and then she asked me if I wanted tickets to a concert. And I was like, I kind of have to go home because I take the train.
Mm-hmm.
And I had class at like 8 o'clock the next morning. And I didn't have
Right.
any place to stay because all of my friends were gone. So, because they had gotten basically special dispensation from this one professor that we all had for voice and articulation, that I didn't get the memo. So it was me and like 4 other people that didn't say, hey, can we not come to class tomorrow because we're heading into, I think it was no,
Mm-hmm.
was it Labor Day weekend? Something like that. It was a holiday weekend. And she was like, oh, yeah, sure. And none of us asked because we're like, okay, we're paying. So they're not going to sit there and be like, oh, yeah, we're going to cancel class.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a responsible adult, dumbass. She's like, I can get you backstage passes and everything. And my mom was like, why did you pass that up? I'm like, because I would have had no way home.
Hmm.
I would have been
It
stuck in Boston. But she was actually really nice. That was like the closest thing I ever got to the brush with fame was Britney Spears.
It is kind of an amazing thing when, and I think, and the cons have helped me with this, like celebrities, like you think, oh my God, if I ever met them. And this year alone, two people that I have loved, I mean, loved for years, and I got to see them up close. And well, the one that I got to see up close, I didn't get to meet him, but I was working like around him, and it broke my heart because first of all, when you realize that they're not the way they used to be, like they aged, or well, he's it's Michael J. Fox I'm talking about,
Yeah.
and he's got the Parkinson's, so he was sitting in a like in front of a table. He had like about eight people like handling him and and stuff like that. He was signing autographs where he had like people passing things over, holding it down so he can use the one good hand he has.
Mhm.
Um, the closest I got is I had my hand down on a hockey jersey that he was signing, and his hand was like literally like inches away. I was like, I'm good, I'm good. But then he got up to walk away, like to go back to his his room, and I saw him from behind and with this cane, and just I was like, oh my God, I literally went back to my hotel and just bawled my eyes out because this is
Yeah.
somebody.
It ripped his entire career away
I
from him.
know, I
Because the
know.
Parkinson's hit him so hard. He was on oh crap, what's the name of that show? Fuck.
Oh,
David
that
Spade
show.
ended up taking over his spot because he couldn't do it anymore.
Oh,
It was
Spin
on
City.
ABC, Sin City, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he was so good. And I remember him in Family Ties and
Mm-hmm.
obviously Back to the Future and
Mm-hmm.
having the biggest crush on him and Kirk Cameron.
Yep.
And it's like you see that
Yep.
robbed from him.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife has been there through thick and thin for him.
Yep. That's true. Very
And she
true.
is so nice.
Mm-hmm. Very true. But the reality is hard because you realize how old you've gotten, how old they've gotten. When
Mm-hmm.
let's put it this way, because it was four of them, like it was him, it was Christopher Lloyd, it was Tom Wilson who played Biff, and I had Leah Thompson also, who was such a sweetheart, an amazing, amazing person, just a doll through and through. When Christopher Lloyd, who's at least 20 years older than Michael J. Fox, is in better shape than Michael J. Fox, yeah.
Yeah. Topher Grace, yes. He
Mm-hmm.
does a lot, a lot, a lot. Yeah. I never even thought of that until you said that. Yeah. But that's like the whole thing of it is it's so surreal how one disease
Mm-hmm.
can just emaciate and just kill your body.
Yep.
Oh my God, I would have died. Dawn, I
You
would have died.
see, you seeing what I showed you?
Yeah, I would have died.
And
I would have died 1,000 deaths.
if you zoom in on my face, you could see it that I am just like frozen in shock.
You look like you were about to throw up.
Because that was probably right after he just said hi, I'm Kiefer. And then I forgot and I felt bad because here's Jason Patrick as I'm like blubbering over Kiefer. And I'm like, oh God, Jason Patrick. And I love him too. But I didn't have like a time to say a word because the photo op is like so quick.
Yeah,
Oh,
because they're really,
Angie.
oh,
I love Johnny, but I can't stand that movie. God,
gonna be honest with you, I like Johnny Depp from like the 80s and the 90s versus the Johnny Depp now.
Hmm.
Shoot me now, I know, but I still see him as the kid on 21 Jump Street.
True in certain aspects. Any
But
old
that is
me,
so cool. That is so cool.
isn't it? Isn't it? And that's, you know, that's always going to be just a memory. I mean, it happened so fast and everything like that, but it's like it made everything that I've ever gone through this year worth it, I guess.
Angie.
You can have him in that movie, whatever, right?
Hey, cat. Moose. Stop.
Anyway, y'all, this went on for 3 hours, but it was really good. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad that somebody
Yay.
talked me into it.
You all have me to thank. Yes, bow down
Yes,
to
yes, you
me
could
because
take credit.
I'm amazing and
Yeah.
I'm just so cool and I'm so perfect and
I mean, just look at
nobody can
you.
care. I mean, how can you compare anyone else to me? Not.
Just look at you.
Oh God, I know. Just look at me.
But I thank you for being my
All right,
partner.
guys. Have a good night.
Yes, and I will see y'all
Love you
soon.
all.
See y'all soon. See
Yay.
y'all soon. Okay, now make sure I do this.
Bye.